ilete baraka kwetu, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, hatujae na uhuru, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi.
Let us pray. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we humble ourselves before you, Lord, thanking you for this day, thanking you for bringing us together to deliberate, share, and benefit from this gathering, O Lord. We beseech you to impart upon us your wisdom. We thank you that you are the source of all that we require. Lord, we hope that by the end of this occasion, Lord, we shall have fulfilled the motive that was intended, and we shall leave this place better informed, because we shall be holding this symposium in your favor. We beseech you this through Christ our Lord.
Amen. Amen. Asante sana, tunaweza kuketi. Commissioner and the leadership of KRA, our dear, esteemed stakeholders, good morning. Good morning once again. Hamujambo. Karibuni sana kwenye shughuli ya siku ya leo ambayo tumeita ni ukumbi wa mlipa ushuru. This is our dialogue session, and we therefore welcome all of us onto this occasion. Just to give us a few announcements so that we can start. We are informed that this dialogue is live on GTN TV, and therefore that is for your information. When you see them around, be sure that it is live. Another announcement is that we are having our washrooms right at the left as you take the stairs. So should you need, you can be directed. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Nicholas Cheruiyot Kikwai. It is my pleasure to be the moderator of this dialogue. And I do not want to take any time because time is far much spent. Therefore, want to welcome the Chief Manager, Central Region, to welcome all of us. And then we shall go to the session of introductions. Karibu sana.
Wananchi watukufu na wasalimu wa mjambo. Zote tunaelewa hiyo lugha ama nitumie kizungu? Najua wazungu walipokuja Kenya mahali walisettle ni hapa Nyeri kwanza. But anyway, I'll use both English and Kiswahili where necessary. My name is Geoffrey Omao, Chief Manager, KRA Central Region. I'm happy to see that our esteemed taxpayers, you are here and you are ready to engage with our chief guest, who is our commissioner, MST, as we put it in brief. And when I look around, I see faces of expectation. you are longing to get an opportunity to engage. And I know we have a number of sectors that were invited to come today. We did engage our Chamber of Commerce to bring part of their team. I don't know whether we have the leader, Chamber of Commerce for Central and Northern Region. Do we have the leadership or any representative? Yes. Probably, if you'll allow, I know you have a big team, isn't it? Can you stand? You can.
Thank you. My name is Kilan Shah. I'm a director for KNCCI Nyeri chapter. I am not sure if we have any other members present. If there's anyone else who can stand up, please. Yeah, Mr. Kauria.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Alex Kehuria. I am the secretary for KNCCI, Nyeri Sub-County Chapter. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. We also had a team that came under ISPAC. ISPAC team, are we there? Or they have not yet arrived, the auditors? Okay. We also had a special team from the border riders. Do we have the leader around? Or the team is yet to arrive? Okay, I have not seen the leader, but they were also invited. We had the leadership of the small and micro enterprises, taxpayers. Do we have any representation from that group? You're not sure? Okay. Yeah, those I think were the special groups that we did invite through the leadership. And then there are all of us who are invited by special invitation. I'm sure you received an email from us, and we thank you for honoring that invitation to come. And so I want to therefore extend my general appreciation and that of KRA Central Region for you having honored that our invitation. I know you come from different sectors, and if we were given time, probably we have those who are running with the agricultural sector, those ones who are running their businesses in town. We have those who are in the digital economy, and we also have those who are in the educational sector, and the rest of us. Okay? Knowing that it's a special engagement time, we came with a team from KRA, from the local office, and they are seated on the far left from all departments within KRA. Please just raise up your hands. Yeah, so you can see that team over there will be the support team when it comes to the questions and answers. They represent all our KRA departments. Now, allow me to come to the front and introduce those that came with our commissioner from Nairobi. Before I introduce the DCs, allow me to ask Madam Grace, the one who is in charge of relating with the public, allow me to let her come so that she can speak just one word so that you understand why she is here. Madam Wandera, please.
Good morning. So my name is Grace Wandera, and I'm the Deputy Commissioner in charge of Citizen Relations and Communication. As my title rightfully says, my work is to ensure that the citizenry of Kenya carefully, or rather are engaged by KRA. So this program lies within my division, where we go out and ensure that we're engaging citizens, we're having stakeholder engagements. Why do we do this? The Constitution of Kenya 2010 says that we must have public participation. We must have views from our stakeholders. So today, we are here to listen, and I'm sure my commissioner will be saying that as well to you. We want to hear from you what are your challenges, but more importantly, we want to commit to the fact that we want to solve the challenges that you may have. Our work is big to ensure that we are collecting money for this country, but we can't do it alone, and we can't purport to know how to do it on our own. And therefore, the whole purpose of citizen engagement is for us to co-create and be able to create a good environment for tax collection that ensures that we have a win-win solution. So thank you so much for coming for this engagement, and it's my joy to see so many people here ready to engage with the Kenya Revenue Authority. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Grace Wandera. She is the DC in charge of citizen relations. I'm sure she came with her team, Madam Sheila and the rest, those who are supporting her. Then we have the team from Nairobi, those who work with the Commissioner's office. Are we there, Madam Evelyn? Just raise up your hand. And we have Kibada over there. They are part of the team that came to support the Commissioner. I hope I've not left out any other KRA staff. In our midst there could be one or two who are also doing the ushering in and other work that is on the ground. Now up front here, we have the immediate deputies to the Commissioner. He has many, but today he walked with the two of them. And these are the ones that are mainly engaged with the people in the regions. And we have seated next to the Commissioner, we have DC Esther Wahome. Esther Wahome is in charge of tax-based expansion. And Madam DC, say one word just about what you do.
Good morning. Mimi ndiye natafuta nyinyi mlipe tax. It's very simple. Ama tax-based expansion inamaanisha nini? See, we want at least the burden to be shared equally. Ama ni aje watu wa Nyeri? Tax no ginya turihe idhuo kanatiguo. So my work is to make sure that those who are not paying start paying. Sawa sawa. It's as simple as that. So ukisikia umepata SMS na hujakuwa ukilipa tax, ujue nani ametuma. Si kuna tu SMS mlipata tu WhatsApp, zingine text messages, sijui uko na e-teams, uko na withholding tax, na unajua hujakuwa ukilipa tax. Please, kama mawe inarushiwa nani? Ndio maana nimejileta. Sababu watu wa Nyeri tunataka mfanya nini? Kila mtu alipe nini? Watu wachache ndio wanalipa, wacha tu tuseme ukweli. So we want everyone to contribute to this burden. so that ukienda useme hakuna healthcare facilities, unajiuliza na hiyo yenye una complain umechanga nini, si ndio? Because it's not good to complain there are no roads, na wewe ukiulizwa contribution yako ya hiyo barabara unatumia si unaona niko na kazi ngumu? Si kabla tutoke hapa nyinyi wote kama kuna mwenye alipi ataanza, si ndio? Asante.
Thank you, Madam Esther. Okay, next to me is the Deputy Commissioner in charge of regional compliance teams. She is actually my immediate boss, and today she is here to listen to you, even as she came to support the Commissioner in this conversation. So I want to welcome Madam Alice Kipto. As you come, I will also let you invite the Commissioner so that we can have the meeting getting to the next level. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Jambo. Anduanyeri Murieka. Na kuangusha? Hapana. Si nimeongea vizuri? Salamu ni poa. Mumeambiwa jina Alice Kipto. Amesema anatafuta wale awalipangi. Basi na mimi naangalianga wale wanalipa. Wale wanalipa tuwasaidie wanjue jinsi ya kulipa vizuri, na kama wako na mashida pia tuwasaidie hiyo njia, na ndio sababu tuko hapa tumejileta. So kama pia unalipanga ushuru na uko na swali moja mbili na unashangaa mbona nalipa nyingi, mbona ule mwingine alipi, ule alipi, akona mwenyewe hapa anatafutwa. Ule analipa, mimi napembeleza hao tuendelee kulipa so that tusaidie uchumi. So nashukuru Mungu kwa nafasi hii na pia kuwaona wote very expectant. We are also very expectant to hear from you. You tell us as it is. As it is, musiongope kwa sababu we are ready. Na ndio sababu tumekuja na mkubwa wetu wa MST, stands for medium and micro and small taxpayers. Atatuambia kwa nini tuko na department kama hiyo na kazi yetu ni nini. Sisi tuko hapa to support our commissioner today because ni siku yake ya kuwasikiza. Na yote mtamwambia, sisi tutahakikisha kila kitu tumebeba, tumetenda vile mmesema. Tumeenda sehemu mbalimbali na raundi hii tumefika Central. So mmetukaribisha na tunashukuru. So yangu ilikuwa tu machache kusema nafanya kazi gani na tuna support each other to expand the tax base so that watu wengi watusaidie kulipa ushuru, ndio hata hii tunakatwa yenye iko na uchungu sana iweze kuteremka. Na tukipembeleza pia wale wanalipa kama wako na changamoto hapa na pale, tuone wanaweza kusaidiwa namna gani. Si ndio hivyo? Good. So it is my honor now to I think there is some introductions to appreciate who are here. Thank you.
Asante. Appreciate our Deputy Commissioner. Asante sana. Wamejitambulisha wana KRA na pia si nyinyi pia tuwatambue. Sivyo? Na kwa hivyo hatutaweza kupata nafasi ya kila mmoja wetu kushika microphone. Sinitaje department sector ambao unatoka, uinue mkono juu ama usimame, tuku appreciate, sio? Wacha nianzie wenye wanatoka kwa hospitality industry na hotel. You remember of that sector kindly, quite a majority, appreciate them better. Thank you. Those of us who are coming from construction, any contractor in the construction industry. Kuna wengine wamezuiliwa na screen hii, tuwapongeze. Those of us who are from the banking, microfinance and the SACCOs, a good number to appreciate. Those of us who are from the health sector, pharmaceuticals, clinics, hospitals, consultants, quite a good number. Let us appreciate them. Those of us who are from the real estate agency and the landlords, let's appreciate them. Asante. From the education sector, schools, colleges, universities, let us appreciate them. There are quite a number as well. Those from who are doing farming, farmers groups. Wakulima wapo? Lakini baadhi yetu tuko katikati ya hizo, sio? Let us appreciate all of us. Asante. There are those from consultants, tax consultants, members of the East Park. Let us appreciate them. There are quite a number here. Asante. Already the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry had been appreciated. Let us appreciate them again, the leadership. Asante. Who are them? Are they members of Kenya Association of Manufacturers? Okay, thank you. Alafu kuna ambao wanafanya biashara za kibinafsi, sole proprietors, you do your private business. Quite a number. Let us appreciate them. Now those, maybe you are not in any of those groups. Wewe ni wholesalers, retail, wauzaji reja, supermarkets. Okay, thank you. There are members from the media. Wana media mpo. Let us appreciate them. Asante. And MCA, members from MCA. Self-help groups. NGO, currently known as Public Benefit Organization. Okay, there's some here. Let us appreciate them. Community-based organizations. There are some there. Let us appreciate them. Is there a sector I've left out? You feel I did not say the sector that you come from? PSV, SACCO. Boda, tuk. Okay, there are those member organizations from other government agencies. There's some at the back. Let us appreciate them. How could I forget the county government? Are there representatives from the county government? They are at the back. Sorry, I had not seen you. Appreciate them better. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Now, karibu Commissioner.
Good morning, the Nyeri people. Good morning. Habari zenyu? I'm very excited to be here this morning. Nimefurahi sana. It's good that you've taken time to come and join us. Today is your day. It is your day. We have deliberately, as KRA, created these engagements, dialogues, together with yourself, because your feedback is very important. And we made sure that today we get to Nyeri. We have gone to many other parts of the country, and we've gotten very many feedback. Every time tukikuwa na mkao kama hizi, we are getting feedback. Now, the feedback makes our services better and good. And today I'm very happy that we are here in Nyeri. Just to give context to this, humujua pesa yako ambao unatoa ndio inapeleka nchi mbele. Unajua hivyo? Hospitali, mabarabara, shule, hii mambo yote ambao unaona inafanyika. It is because of the money that you give. It is the money that you give. Hata ile deni ambao serikali inaomba, hiyo deni lazima ilipwe, sivyo? Linalipwa kwa njia gani? Kwa njia ya ushuru. Unaelewa? Kwa hivyo kulipa kodi ni muhimu sana. Manake ndio KRA ilisema kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. When you pay your taxes, you set yourself free. You are now not depending on other people. You are dependent on yourself, and that's very important. So what we do in this kind of engagement is to come and tell you exactly what it is that you are doing, what it is that you are doing to make services better. KRA is a service organization. We are offering that services on behalf of government and on behalf of the people of Kenya. So we are a statutory organization created by Statute of Parliament to support and ensure that services are offered to the people so that they can be able to even pay taxes when they can see that it's paid freely in a good way, and also ensure that there's transparency in the process of payment of taxes. What I can tell you a little bit background about this so that you appreciate and understand what happens is this. When we look at our register and we see how many people are paying taxes, we have seen there's a big gap. There are people who are contributing and there are people who are not contributing. Hasa wale ambao wanapata mshahara ambao is being deducted by the employer, wao wanapata kuona ni kama wanafinyika sana. Sivyo? Wanafinyika. Na kuna wale ambao wanafanya biashara zao, they have got their own income, lakini wao kuna wengine ambao wanalipa, and we are thankful for the people who are paying. But then there are other people then who are not paying. And unfortunately, quite a bit of them are in the majority. So we are trying to resolve that issue by having a dialogue discussions with yourself to wonder how we can be able to resolve these issues and to work together. And that's why you can even see this year, ukiangalia mambo ya finance bill, kuna hiyo proposal imewekwa hapo ya amnesty for penalty and interest, so that we can allow people to pay their taxes. Now they can catch up with the others who are paying, so that we can be able to move together. So KRA has tries as much as possible, because we ask ourselves a question: mbona hawa hawalipi? Watu wa biashara ambao wanafanya, they are earning income, mbona hawalipi? They are doing business on their own names, mbona hawalipi? And we did some research and we asked questions, na tukapata kujua saa zingine wengi they are ready to pay because they see what monies for taxes are used for the common good. But the challenges they gave us was because there were challenges with our systems. It was not easy to know which is the obligation you are supposed to pay, which taxes you are supposed to pay, how you are supposed to pay it. It was not easy for them. And we have taken note of that. And so we have made a lot of changes in our system, try to make it easier. We are going out to communicate. We are meeting taxpayers. We are telling them all these easy solutions that we have made available. From this beautiful lady here called Shuru, you can see there, they can be able to offer support, give you support on what you're supposed to do, to all the other services we have, including a USSD, a WhatsApp solution, to try and make it easier and possible for people to register, for people to file, for people to pay taxes. So we are going to communicate and we are going to engage more about this, and we are also going to help you and tell you that there could be other things that we are doing. One of the bigger things we have done is that eTeam solution. KRA has invested money on eTeam solution. How is eTeams useful for yourself? Is that if you use eTeams, we keep all the records for you. All the records. So we have invested an infrastructure to keep all the sales and purchases for you. When you buy from somewhere, even if you have, the documents are lost, we have the document. We have it available. And today, you can even go to our KRA system and you can be able to see whom did you buy for last year. For any period you want to check, how much did you buy, whom did you buy from, all that information has been made available. And we are continuing to make sure we push it as close as possible to you so that you can be able to know. When you make your sales and maybe you don't keep records properly, we are also doing that. The other thing we are doing to make sure it's easier for you is we fill the returns for you. We pre-fill. We pre-fill by putting the information there so that it is easier for you to comply. Instead of, for example, having to hire someone to do for you the job, wanaanza kuangalia receipt number, how much, which date, hiyo tumetoa. Right now, ukiangalia kwa VAT return, tumeshafanya pre-filling. And we are moving on to the income tax return. And we are making sure that these changes are coming. And more of these changes you are going to see. You can see this year, the filing for income tax return is coming to an end next month. This month, I want to remind you, on 30th of June is the last day. Don't wait to file the last day. The system will be congested. File today. Today with my team here, we even set up a team outside here. You can be helped to file your return today, and it is free of charge. We do it that way. We have got all these tools that are available to help you, including the shuru, just to be able to help you file your return and meet your statutory obligation of filing your return and filing it in good time. So all that support has been made easier. We have gotten the feedback from you. Where we can be able to change, we are changing. You told us on the income tax return, the things you are supposed to do, we have done them. You told us you've got legitimate expenses that are not ETIMS compliant. Can we allow them to be allowed as expenses within your return? We accepted, and you made the change. You told us you've got what we call the audit adjustments. We have made provision for that. You further told us again that maybe you are having problems to get the PIN numbers for the expenses that you incurred, and you have relaxed it. So today you do not have necessarily to put the PIN. If you have got the PIN, put it. If you can't, you don't have it, we still allow that expense as long as you fill it in and you put the information. Of course, obviously, we are mentioning that we are going to subject it to validation, and that is okay, because then if it is an expense for you, then it is an income to somebody else. We want to also to make sure that that somebody else also pay taxes, and they pay their fair share of taxes. So all those have been put to support you and to help you in any way. So as an organization, we are putting all these things together to ensure that first we give you services that are quick, efficient, and finds you in your place. You do not have to move. You can use your phone. Everybody has got a phone these days, largely. Whether it is a feature phone, where we've got USSD, or a smartphone, where we've got all our services available in this platform, is to help you as much as possible, give you support in any way possible so that you can be able to pay your taxes and comply. Going forward, we will continue to listen to yourself. We will continue to engage with you. We'll continue to see exactly what it is that you'd want us to do. The goal is to make sure that we enable growth, we remove all the barriers that are there, and to have also honest and key engagement with yourselves. So today is one of those that you are going to have a very good engagement with yourselves. And please feel free when you're engaging with us today, because we want to get feedback. If there are certain things that you think we can do better, you let us know. If there are certain things that you're not doing well, you let us know. If there are people within our midst that you've got challenges with, you let us know. Because it is only this way that we can be able to move forward as a country together. We have got to listen to yourselves, because we do not have monopoly of knowledge in this area. We accept. And again, we want also to be very sensitive to what it is that you are saying, so that we can work together and move this country forward. So that is the thing we are looking for today. Open conversation, open engagement. There could be certain specific things that are touching on this area, specifically Nyeri. There could be other things that are touching across. We are willing and ready to listen to all that and find a way to support. Most of those changes I've talked about return and other things, is because of this kind of forums, whereby tunapatana, tunaongea, tuna dialogue, tunapata kujua what is your feel, and then we can be able to help as a country, we can be able to move forward. I will tell you something that is a final one, then I can spend time to listen to yourself. When we look at the numbers of the revenue and how much is coming through, we have seen the potential in areas that we ought to improve, and those are the areas we are focused on. If we get those areas working well, what it will mean is that we can start seeing the rates of taxes falling. And overall, of course, you've started hearing messages from government talking about taxes rates falling down. And that is the intention. If you spread it up and you pay little by little, almost everyone who ought to pay, because tax is paid on income, then the rates of taxes will come low. We have done the research, we have looked at the numbers, and you can see that these rates can fairly come down fairly quickly. But at the same time, there will be enough resources to run the government services that are being offered to the wananchi, and also to begin to start paying the debt that we may have taken up front for purposes of offering certain specific services that were required to be done at the time that they were done. So that is the whole idea about this, and please feel free today. Let it be your day for engagement. I've come with my team here. They have been introduced. We want to listen to Nyeri today. So you guys are ready to do that? You are ready to engage with us? Please feel free and engage with us in all the way possible, because today is your day. So thank you very much, and God bless you as we begin the engagement. I will then be ready with my team to listen to yourself and then give you feedback. When we have got the feedback now, we are going to give you. If there are certain things we need to write and go and do certain things back, we definitely are going to do that. If we do not have an answer for a very specific question today, I think we'll take it down, take note of it, and make provision to make sure that there is feedback for that. Yeah. So karibuni sana and asanteni sana, and we're looking forward for a very good engagement with you beginning now. Thank you. God bless you all.
Appreciate the commissioner even better. Asanteni, asanteni. Now we go to the dialogue. There is no much ado. We want to do the conversation. And this is how we are going to do. Hivi ndivyo tutafanya. Kwa sababu tuko wengi, nataka tu niwaulize, mnataka tuulize maswali aje? Kuna uwezekano ya mtu mmoja atake kuchukua nafasi yote, na sisi tuko zaidi ya 200, sio? At least we want everyone at least to air their view. You know, when we air our views, so many of us, we get divergent views, and when the report is converged, it will give something meaningful, right? So let us have as many people as possible asking questions. So how many questions do we give per person? 1, 2. How many? Someone is saying 1, 2. 2 is reasonable, right? And right as you go to ask the 2 questions, or it may not necessarily be questions, all of them. It can be an opinion. So make it as precise as possible, because someone is capturing. If you say so many things, they may fail along the way to capture your line of thought, right? So let us have 2 precise questions. Go as many rounds as possible. Where the time will allow us to reach, we will have done a good job, right? Second thing, in the event we do not get an opportunity to air your view, you can be typing. We have also our QR code at our walls. So should you not have opportunity to air out via the microphone, you can as well. That is the same feedback. It will come straight, form part of this report. So do we start? There was a microphone somewhere. So we have only 1 microphone going around. So we will ask this row, followed by this row, followed by that row. So those per round it will be 6 questions or 6 issues to be addressed. Then we come a second round. So let us start. You raise your hand up, then we will pick you up, then we go next. Let us have a KNCCI director starting us off.
Thank you very much. Thank you, team from KRA. Thank you, everyone who is present here. Good morning once more. God is good, and all the time. That is one thing that they left out when they were saying Oremuega, and yes. Anyway, back to normal. Mine is very simple. I have 2 questions. I'm also a businessman, as I represent KNCCI. I have an issue, number 1, with your auto-populated return for VAT. We find that sometimes we also want to reconcile the auto-populated return with what we have. The purchases we have from our suppliers must tally with what the auto-populated has shown. I can give you a case study where 2 months ago, I had an issue where invoices from a supplier appeared on my auto-populated. a supplier who supplies me, but those invoices did not actually belong to me because I had not bought those goods. He is my supplier, I had not. So I did not capture them in my return. However, 6 months, within 6 months, he realized that he had raised a wrong invoice and he sent a credit note for the same. That credit note appeared in a return which I could now not adjust when it came down to paying 4 months later. I had not taken in the invoice, so I was not supposed to take in the credit note either. But the portal refused to adjust the credit note. And they said, no, you have to pay this. If something can be done about that so that we are able to smoothen the effect of this. Number two, 2 years back, being a withholding agent, I supplied goods and the customer on the other hand withheld money, but that money never reflected. We've been having this conversation with KRA and they're saying, no, you need to tell them, we've given them proof, but there's a back and forth, and up to today that money has never been refunded. So if there's a way we can be enlightened and told these are the steps to follow, because that customer I supplied to was outside the county, in another county. So there is back and forth. My office in Nyeri says, no, go to that office in the other county. The other county says, no, the issue is with your Nyeri office. Can we have some streamlining on that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next is this row. Okay, she's there. You can ask.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Esther Washira. I'm from Laikipia County, Eastward Garden Hotel, but our tax base is Nyeri. So my two questions are here. It's still on the auto-populated return, like on the VAT. So in February, I got my auto-populated return, reconciled it with my receipts, filed my return. Then in April, I got an email from KRA saying that some of the invoices had been disallowed. These invoices are legit. I bought from that supplier, and they had been auto-populated. So my concern is, if they had been auto-populated, they are legit, I have them. So at what point do they get disallowed, and why would I be disadvantaged if my supplier has an issue with KRA? That is my first question. My second question is, before we incorporated the hotel to a company, we were trading on the personal PIN for the director. So we had some obligations on that PIN. At the moment, the director is retired, and I'm trying to remove the VAT and pay obligation from that PIN, and it's been posing a big challenge. The tax base for that PIN is Nairobi West, so I've been trying to have it moved either to Nyeri or to Nyahururu, which is the office that is closer to me. So I've been attaching documents, bank statements, a lot of things. I'm given an account manager, but it's not been successful. So I'm hoping this platform can give me probably a way forward on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The last row. She's the first to raise. You will come the next round. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Asteria Mutahi. I'm in small business. I have a question similar to the first one that was asked by the chairman, KCCI. And this one is on income tax, which is also coming as, okay. It's coming like it's already auto-populated. But now, then reconciling the documents that I have with what I have already got from KRA, it's becoming very, very difficult. Because we could be having expenditures that were not captured in those details. So you want to reconcile. We want to add the expenditures, but it has become very, very difficult. I've been trying for the last 2 months since I got the invoice from KRA. It has not been possible. And then I'm also I also want to ask about how to raise a payment slip when you want to pay installment tax, where I don't have to go to an accountant to ask the accountant to do it for me. I do it directly myself. And I would also want to comment about the communication. Which is the method that KRA uses to communicate? Is it email, WhatsApp, text? Because sometimes you receive a message through SMS, you're not sure whether it's genuine, whether it's genuinely coming from KRA, because we are normally used to emails, and we accept those ones to be the official communication. But when you receive an SMS that is not backed by an email, you start wondering whether it's coming from a different source. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that round. Let me allow the Commissioner and team to respond to the first round, then we'll go another round.
Yeah, thank you. Quite technical questions and very individualized. So, which I feel maybe some of this, I'll be asking Mr. Omao to get a team to sit with the taxpayers, because we may need to get to the details of it. Like, for example, when you say you are not able to reconcile your purchases in the VAT returns, then we need to drill into the details of it. Why? What is the error? The sad thing to note is the issue of credit notes, because it means you did not claim the input, but when credit note comes, it means your sales go up. Okay? So what I'm feeling here is that it's very specific to that scenario, and we might need to sit down and see how do we, through the back office, then reverse. Because what you need to evidence is that you actually didn't claim the input VAT that was associated to the credit note, because otherwise you're paying tax on input VAT, because you are a genuine taxpayer who didn't claim input that never belonged to you. You should not then be punished by paying additional tax for credit notes, because the credit note in this case would be increasing your payable, because you didn't claim the input. So allow maybe Mr. Omao, you can have a sitting, and then if we need it resolved at system level, then I think we can pick that up. Yeah, that's very specific. Again, I think the same thing to do with withholding VAT not reflected in your ledger. I think I also feel it's a very specific issue. So we may need to look at what exactly, because ordinarily the way our system is configured is that if withholding VAT is deducted on you, you can't even file your return without that withholding VAT being claimed. So I am finding this a bit unique. So we might need to look at it. You being referred between one TSO to the other, when you go here, you're told go there. I think that is very unfortunate. We have tried to come up with what we are calling stationless service, where a taxpayer can actually be served from any location. Whether or not your PIN is located in Nairobi or Nyeri, you should be able to go to Nyeri and get a service from there. And that is what we are trying to push. We are calling it stationless service, where you actually can receive a service regardless of where you are at. Because some of our taxpayers, they were working in Eldoret, but they were moved to Nairobi. So if you come to Nairobi and I tell you to go to Eldoret, I'm being very unfair to you as a taxpayer. So I'm actually hoping that Mr. Omao, maybe that can be looked at, because we expect that this taxpayer should be served from that region where they have gone to. Then what is escalated to Nairobi is the issue and not the taxpayer. So it's not you who should be sent to Nairobi. It's your issue that should be sent to Nairobi for resolution. And I'm hoping that that can be followed through even here. Esther, I think you also have the same issue. Again, it's very specific. I would actually want to know why would, no, Esther was here, yes. I would actually want to know why would the invoice be disallowed. And I think that also we need to evaluate, because if you received the goods, you paid for the goods, and you had a valid invoice, then we probably need to understand why. Because I'll tell you that what has been happening, and maybe what could be the cause, we are having a category of taxpayers who we are calling missing traders. And I'm sure you've heard of them, and that is why we had started special table. But I'm happy special table didn't come up here, because as administration we decided to do away with it because of the probably other uses that were not necessarily aimed at what was our original intention. So what usually happens is that in a missing trader situation, you have the invoice. It is an e-Teams invoice, okay? But when we track on whether you actually received those goods or whether you paid for them, there is nothing. So in such cases, even if the invoice is in your ledger, but we cannot validate that you actually received those goods, okay? Or you actually paid for those goods, then it is a fictitious, we call it a fictitious invoice, and for that reason it's disallowed. But if you are able to support that you actually paid for the goods, and the goods are in your stock, they were supplied, then I think we may need to look at that as a unique scenario, which maybe the team here from Nyeri can probably have a look at it. And I'm hoping that you can actually see one of our officers here, and I'm hoping officers, because we are here, let's help the taxpayers and see how to resolve some of those issues. It should not be dramatic to transfer your PIN. It should not. By the way, it's not meant to be dramatic, because we are supposed to serve you where it is convenient for you to be served. Okay? So again, we would like to pick that one and know where is the challenge. But I want to tell taxpayers here, if you feel you have moved away from Nairobi, you're saying it's west of Nairobi, but your base now is in, you want that PIN to move to Nyahururu for ease of service. In my honest view, that should not be complicated. So we can also look at it, because you should be able to transfer your PIN to the location where you want. Because remember, KRA is more of service. We should be able to serve our taxpayers where they are able to be served conveniently. Now, that notwithstanding, there is no reason why Nyeri should not assist you with your issue, even if your PIN is in west of Nairobi. Because what we are trying to drive is you can be served. Because today you could be here, then next time you move to Nairobi. So you see, when we keep moving, the PIN, it can also be an issue. But what we are saying is you should be able to get the same service from Nyeri. If they are unable to resolve your issue from Nyeri, they escalate it to west of Nairobi, but not you being sent to west of Nairobi. So let us set that expectation clear here. So when you go to Nyeri, please ask them to serve you regardless of where your PIN is located. The only thing is that they may not be able to then resolve your issue there and then, okay? Because there could be certain consultation that needs to be done with where the station is. But where you feel you have moved permanently to a particular location, feel free to ask the team to move your PIN. It should not be an issue. I think this issue again of reconciliation of expenses, it's, you said Mutahi, I didn't get the first name, is an issue we are facing constantly. In terms of the, remember by the way, there is always a first time, isn't it? And I hope the commissioner was able to explain to you why we are moving in that direction. Let me elaborate it a bit from tax-based expansion perspective. What usually happens is that when you sell, we tax you on those sales, okay? But we don't tax you on the entire sales. We allow you to deduct expenses, right? But this person who you are claiming from, we have realized with concern that some of them are not paying tax. You understand? So you are able to reduce your sales. You are a good taxpayer who pays tax. You are able to reduce your sales and pay on your profit. Say you made a sale of 100,000. You reduce your sales by 50,000. You're left with a profit of 50. You pay us tax on 50 and we don't have a problem. The challenge is we've allowed you 50, but this person on this 50 is nowhere to be found. Okay? So the essence of us coming up with auto population is so that huyu mtu wa 50 mwenye amekuinvoice, they are also paying tax on the 50. Okay? So that's how auto population came in. So that we are able to make sure that you don't pay tax on 50, yet the 50 that you've deducted, nobody has paid tax on. I want to say there is always a first time. Na system inakuanga na shida every time you're starting. Which is why when we reviewed the complaints by taxpayers, we said, okay, being year one where we are doing validation, we will allow you to input those costs that you feel were not on e-teams. Okay? So if you go to iTax, and probably maybe some officers here can actually specifically take you through that, we've provided a window where you can make adjustments. So if you find that certain expenses, I'll give an example for accrued expenses, for example. Accrued expenses may not necessarily have an invoice, isn't it? Those who are accountants know that. So you have accrued an expense because you've incurred it in that year, but you have not yet been invoiced. It happens a lot, especially in audit and other consultancy services, where you know audit is related to the year of income 2025, but maybe the auditor has not finished the work and they have not invoiced you. So we provided a window in iTax where then you can be able to make the adjustments. So if you continue having that challenge, I would actually advise, please visit our office. Let's look at your ledger and see where the issue could be. But we've already provided a window for adjustments. I think payment slip is, I thought it's quite easy. Or maybe even one of your officers can quickly sit with her, because we generate those all the time, isn't it? It's a very easy process. You can actually visit there, they'll show you. It's there. You can generate a payment slip for advanced tax on income tax. It's there. We just need to show you. Maybe that one needs to be shown to you practically so that you can be able to see the steps. I'm taking the first round so that then the next round my colleagues can take. Our official communication. One of the things that we've noted with concern is that our taxpayers are not at the same level. Okay? When we met, there's some time we were meeting the micro and small taxpayers, and they told us, you have really complicated your processes, that we must give you our emails for you to communicate to us. Okay? Some of our taxpayers do not have internet, so for them to be able to go to their emails. We also noted with concern that we are having a lot of email addresses. When we send emails, they are never read. And some of these communications are very, very critical. Like, for example, if you owe a debt and we send you an email and you don't see it, chances are the next thing that will happen, your bank account will be attached. But probably you didn't see the email. Yeah? So what we did in view to reach this other category of taxpayers is expanded our communication channels so that we are able to communicate through email, through SMS, and through WhatsApp. Now the key thing is our channel is actually one number. It comes, Grace, it goes as KRA care always. Our communication on SMS and on WhatsApp comes to you as KRA care. Okay? It actually doesn't come in a like 0722 or that. The message comes to you as KRA Care. Grace, I hope I'm right. Eh? That is the official channel of communication by KRA. Now, if you find you have an SMS that you are doubting if it is from KRA, you can actually quickly go to our website and check what are our telephone numbers, because we don't want to restrict ourselves to emails, and we know our taxpayers, some of them cannot access emails. The quickest way for us to reach our taxpayers is through sometimes SMS, especially if it's an urgent message, and WhatsApp. However, the consideration we can make probably going forward is once we release a message on SMS or WhatsApp, there can be a follow-up on email, so that those who have an email can also be able to validate that there was a communication. But you're just trying to expand so that, you know, by the way, hata sahi ukitaka kulipa tax, you just dial *222#. Okay? Some of these taxes like TOT and MRI, Mutahi, you don't even need a payment slip. We've actually enabled you to just dial *222#. If you go to TOT, you are able to pay. The PRN is generated in the background, so that those people who cannot access internet and our iTax system can also be able to pay simply. So I want you to try today before you leave. *222#. Then you go to number 5. You'll be able to see all the list of services that KRA can actually offer you without necessarily going through the internet. So come, if you want maybe to add something. I think I've covered the majority.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Just 2 things, and then I can we go to the next one. I got the question from the chairman on withholding agent, and that withholding that has not reflected. Actually, I'm very concerned about that. That is something we should be very concerned, because what happens is that when somebody pays tax on your behalf, immediately a certificate is issued, a withholding certificate, and it's put onto your account. Because when they pay on behalf, it doesn't go to the account, it goes to your account. You see the accounting, the way it works. Even when we deduct PYE from employees, it goes as a credit into their account as a payment for them. So it doesn't go as a debit, or it doesn't hang somewhere. So I'll be very keen to see that specific case, because it means something happened and we want to resolve that issue. It shouldn't be a big problem. The other thing is that I think she's talked about the communications. We are doing as much as possible to make sure that there's no gap in communication. And this is from the feedback from yourselves. That tunakutumia email and you cannot access your email, but we know when we send you a WhatsApp message, you can be able to get it. When you send you a text message, you can be able to get it. But we do not only restrict to that communication. If it is something very important, we send it to your WhatsApp, but also still send to your email address, so that you find all the information is there, so that we are able to close gaps. And this primarily, like the example she's talked about, people come to us and say, hey, we were having a payment plan, maybe somebody didn't pay according to the payment plan. They have been given a notice of 21 days, 14 days, 7 days, 1 day. When an action is taken is when they realize, oh, there was communication, and all of them have been packed on the email. So we try as much as possible to deal with that issue. On all these solutions that we're offering, these ones of auto-population, keeping your records, keeping the sales and purchases, the way she's mentioned first year, we could have some few teething problems. But I will tell you, this is the best practice everywhere in other jurisdictions that tax has matured, so that they don't do it manually, but somebody has already pre-filled for you. And the challenge you could be having now is that we are not gotten used to this. So we are trying to get used to this, and that's why you can see what we have done is to make sure we have provided many solutions in the first year. But later, there will be a lot of appreciation on this. These days when I incur cost for a business, that I run, I don't even keep those records anymore. As long as I've given the PIN, I know I will see it in my VAT that month. Immediately I'll see it there. So that's very good. And I can go back and pull records for 3-4 years. Imagine if we continue like this. In year 5, you'll be having all the documents for 5 years. In year 10, you can still go back. And we are doing for you at no fee to yourself. It's an investment we have put so that you can be able to help you to keep your records and keep them appropriate, and you can be able to access at any time you want to access without having to be restricted to do that. That is an investment that we are making to give you better services. So we are we are keen to hear your feedback onto them, and every time we get the feedback, we make a change to make it better. So my team is here for those issues that needs to be resolved, like issues of raising a PRN. We not only are you able to make the payment, even that shuru can be able to guide you. It's there. We have got 1, 2, 3 steps that we have made it easier for you to hear. So if you just Google Kidogo these days, we are also on AI, just for your information. If you just go to AI, you can be guided to do this. But nonetheless, because you are here today and it's an issue that affects you, we are ready to support you. That case of migration of the PIN, you should not go out of this office, of this place without a solution. We'll give you a solution today. I've already told him to give you a solution today, so that instantly it should have been transferred, so that it should be there. It should be easy. It should be something that can be triggered by the taxpayer. The moment you moved your location, and if you go and update, if you have updated your profile on iTax and you update and you say, this is now my new location, we have organized our system to pick that new location and send you to the next. But if it's not happening for whatever reason, we should, and I've understood what else you want us to do, not only to move it, but to remove those VAT obligation and others, because the business has shifted to another place. That should be resolved today. So thank you very much for those good questions, and again we take an opportunity to take the next round of questions.
Thank you very much for that round. Just an update. Okay, we said at the beginning that the conversation is being aired live, and maybe we were a bit mean on the sign language. We forgot that we are also transmitting to those who are not here. So maybe we need the sign language interpreter to do for those who are viewing it online. Okay. As she does that, we also are saying, to ensure that we have as divergent questions as possible, as diverse as possible, sorry, we do not repeat what has been asked, so, because the answer will be ranging around the same thing. If it is auto-populated, it will be around the same thing. So we want to go another round. Okay, he had raised first, and let me allow him to ask.
Thank you very much. My name is George Kiguta, and I'm a young startup dealing with avocado oil pressing. And one very, very difficult situation I have found myself in is when I walked into the office, KRI office in Nyeri, and I needed a tax clearance. I was told that the first thing I had to do is to be a member of the E-teams, which was okay. But in the course of discussion with the officer that I dealt with, we found that there was a handicap somewhere. Because as a new startup, my raw material comes from the farmer. The farmer actually who doesn't have the PIN all the way from whatever corner of my locality. And I asked this officer, how shall I be able to account for the expenditures I am making with this person who doesn't have a PIN and yet I have to go for the raw material from this in order my startup to operate. So they told me that you are coming here today, I should pose that question because they didn't have the answer. Maybe the other thing is that you may want to include my border people and every other person into the tax bracket so that we all can pay up for the services of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let me allow her at the back to ask, as she was the first to raise her hand.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Eunice Wangui Murage. I'm in a small business, having worked in an audit firm for 28 years. So I thank the Lord that I can even I can also shika maneno ya Gen Z. Lakini wakati nilikuwa nafanya kwa audit firm, kile niliona kinatatiza sana is the tone that is used when addressing a taxpayer. Maybe a letter, you want to ask something from a taxpayer. I was requesting whether that tone or the language can be made a bit friendlier, because in most cases, hiyo barua inakuta the old people, wale wazee who are the taxpayers. Kwa hivyo wakipatiwa hiyo matisho that you have to do this within the next two days, within the next 2 weeks, hiyo maneno inaletea hao wazee mashida. Kwa hivyo I would request that letter to be a bit friendlier, not a demand notice, not demand. Kwa hivyo hiyo barua afadhali ifanywe a bit friendlier for those people who are owed in the system. Hiyo ingine ni we want all the people to pay for tax. Lakini mama boga hajui the meaning of that PIN certificate. Kwa hivyo I would request vile chief anaitanga baraza akitaka kuongea juu ya the estate. I would also request these people to go through the chiefs to ask those people with PIN to be taught what is the purpose of a PIN certificate. Kwa sababu hata ukiwaambia file nil return uonyeshe KRA hauna kitu, wanasema mnajua. Kwa hivyo, please, let there be education.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the last. Let me allow me on the front to ask. He had raised previously and I had not given him sound. He'll come for the next round.
Thank you, Commissioner, and the entire team. Good morning. I want to relate my question to what you just said, because it relates to the first ground, the issue of communication. My name is Fathers Kahono from hotel industry. We receive communication through mail. And like she has said, the same mails also cast a lot of aspersions to our teams. Because we have people who they access the mails through the phone, and they even see the mail before us we see them. So they ask questions and you don't have the answer yet. The reason is the way those mails have come. It was relating to the issue of VAT returns. You have filed your return very well, and then a month later you get a mail from KRA that one of your invoices used in the import tax, the owner of that invoice had not declared those sales. My question is particularly, why does it have to take, actually they don't necessarily 1 month, the last 9 months. Does it have to take 7 months for you to realize that this wasn't right? And then after 7 months, you're telling us from September 2025 to April 2026, all those invoices listed there, particular to one person. And then they say they had not declared those sales. What is a taxpayer now like me supposed to do on the receipt of that email? And then giving us 7 days to disallow. Within the 7 days, if it's not resorted, it will be disallowed. What does it mean to disallow? Does it create an obligation for me or an invoice for me to pay more tax? And then it's not my mistake. This invoice is genuine. We've been dealing with this supplier, giving us the services all through. It's only particular months, September, October, November, then skip December, come January, skip March, April, rather February, then there's March, and all have those issues. Yeah, these emails cause aspersions, particularly to the old generations. When they receive these mails, they ask a lot of questions that we are unable to even answer. At times they see the mails at midnight of the night, and they call you, kuna mail hapa ya KRA, inasema namna gani, hata wewe hujaiona. So when you get to the office in the morning, you have your mind already worried about it. And yet they know we have paid the VAT. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that round. Let me allow the Commissioner and team to respond to those ones.
Thank you very much. Those are very, very nice questions. So you agree with me, eh? There are issues that we need to address, civil, eh? And that's why you see we talk about these sessions as dialogue, eh? Dialogue, because we're engaging, eh? You get, eh? And you can see, you can even appreciate KRA because you are coming to listen. And that is important, civil. Because if we didn't provide this kind of forums, we would not have known. So when we engage in this manner, we are able to get things, rolling. So when I'm saying George Kiguta, I appreciate. In fact, but let me tell you, at your age and then you are starting a new business, you're doing very well. You are showing us young people who are in this room to try and do it. Well, you get, and so that's a very good thing, because, avocado pressing, that's very good, and you are doing what we call cold pressing, which is a very good thing. It's healthy and good, and it's a nice thing. So first, let me explain about e-teams, and I think that's appreciated. E-teams is not a tax. Sometimes there's a confusion, e-teams is a tax, it's not a tax. Why did you introduce e-teams? It's to see the transactions. Who is selling, who is buying. So to an equity, because whoever is selling and whoever is buying, we need to know so that we can be able to have a spread. I just didn't say earlier, but let me tell you now. For about 22.6 million people with PIN in this country, people and companies, less than 8 million pay tax. Less than 8 million pays tax. And I will tell you, a lot of these people that even say that they do not have PINs, they actually have PINs. I'll explain to you why. If you go to open a bank account, you need a PIN. If you go, you are opening all this, you are registering for a phone, age, you're putting all this phone, the till numbers and everything else, so they ask you for PIN. The PINs are there. And surely somebody who has got financial, in whichever form you are doing financial transactions, you should have PIN, because you not do a lot of transactions. Sometimes you want to tender somewhere, you are required to have a tax compliance certificate. How will you get it if you do not have a PIN? You'll be asked to have a personal identification number. PIN is a personal identification number. In fact, in other countries, the same number could be the same ID number. So they don't separate. And even in Kenya, we have proposed that going into the future, so that we don't have so many numbers. You've got a number for KRA, you've got a number for identity, you've got a number for driving, you've got a number. That can be collapsed into one. In many places, they have done that. So it's just an identification number. So we take note of what you have said that is very important, is that we have got to do what we call taxpayer education, so that people appreciate why we are putting all these solutions. Today, if you go to that WhatsApp, you tell anybody, put your ID here, the PIN will come automatically. You can even help them. Put your ID. Chukua tuko yon the number we are talking about. Rama #2#. Go to KRA services. Weka your ID number. Tuone kama hauna PIN. So some of them don't know. But we have even also done something easier. We don't even insist on the PIN today. We say use ID. Because at the back of it, tumelink ID na PIN. Same number. That's why today when you consume those services on 222#, you just use your ID. Hata ukienda kwa shuru services we are offering, shuru services ya WhatsApp, weka tu ID. Already it picks out because we have already mapped those numbers. So we take note the importance of doing taxpayer education, which as advised by Eunice Murage, which we want to take care of, is that we've got to now go to the chiefs and other places. We have started with these forums. We are going to go lower and lower until people understand. What options have you offered available for somebody who is selling goods and services? Na ako pale chini kabisa. Maybe they don't know. You can get into items in less than 2 minutes using your phone. And you can issue an invoice on the items. The 1, 2, 3 steps are there. Very easy. We have made it easier. Also for other businesses, we have done something called reverse invoicing. Wewe kama mwenye biashara, if they don't know how to do it, you can do it for them. It becomes your cost, but it identifies whom you have bought from. Because remember, income has got 2 elements. Civil. As you claim expense is someone else's income. Now watu waziogope sana. You know why? Today, if you are earning income of 24,000 and below, under the law, you are not supposed to pay tax. Did you know that? 288,000. And you can see they even proposal to increase it to 30. You've seen that in the public. Civil is to try to relieve the vulnerable households so that they don't pay. So the whole idea of making sure these people, we see their transaction, is to meet, to see whether they are meeting that threshold. Kama wana meet, wafike where they are supposed to be, then we can be able to see how much tax they are supposed to pay. And there are some taxes that are charged that are very easy. If they have met that threshold, then we may just ask 1.5%. For every 100 shillings, we ask 1.5%. And they pay, and they don't have to do anything more. That we call turnover tax. Turnover tax, unalipa namna hiyo, unamaliza. And you don't have any further obligation, even for filing. You don't have. These are options we have made available to support our taxpayers. So we understand that sometimes this understanding, some of you are in this room getting to know this for the first time, and you are here. What about ule mwenye ako kwa shamba ambao hajui? So we must find a way to reach out to them, to support them as much as possible. My team told you to come here today, not that they did not have an answer. They wanted commissioner to answer that question. So they knew I was coming around, that's why they insisted, you come, and then so that we can even tell more people. But also what I take note, which we need to move very quickly, is to, as many people as possible to educate them. And you can help them. Give me your ID number. Wewe ingia kwa hiyo 0711 na washuru number 099 999. Unaambia kama hujui pin yako sasa ndio hii. Almost adults. Why am I telling you that? Why are we sure about that? We know adults over 18 years and above. Ukiangalia saizi kwa ile inaitwa economic survey, they give the information. People in that category in this country now are around 26-27 million people. Yet we have got 22 million with PIN. So naona, si tofauti ni kidogo sana. You can be able to see. So we are clear. We know many of the people walichukua kitambo, they have not been bothered looking for it, but they took it because they were opening a bank account. They took it because these transactions required. Saa zingine wanataka kuuza shamba ama wanataka kununua shamba, so naitishoga PIN. So it is understood many transactions you can't do much without the personal identification number. So but we take note, the most important thing is for us to be able to educate as more people as possible, and we accept that not many people are educated on the tax issues, because we were not doing it. Like for example, you go through a high school na unapata hiyo mambo ya tax umefunzwa hapo, but we are thinking in every place to educate as more people as possible. For Eunice, we acknowledge Saa zingine ile barua zetu zimekuwa ni kali sana. We acknowledge. And we take note. To every place we have gone, we've been told about the tone of our letters. Because tumeona barua zingine tukisema, you're not there within 7 days. Inaweza kuleta mshtuko wa roho, sivyo? We take note of that. And I can tell you something. What Grace has been telling me for a long time. Grace, gets feedback from you. My deputy commissioner. Anasema barua zenyu ni mbaya. Try and change it. And she's been very consistent on that. We are trying to see whether we can try as much as possible to engage with our staff to be able to change that. You'll be able to see some change in it. But at the same time, there are certain processes that we can automate with good letters and we can send. And not to say that they are all bad. Kuna barua mingi sana about these days tunaandika tunasema mzuri. We even acknowledge you as a taxpayer. So tunaanza na hiyo preamble. So tunaandika namna hiyo. Ama what do you normally write? We try, Yeah, we try. But the business we do is a very difficult business. Hii biashara sio rahisi, sivyo? Especially wakati kama huu, hii biashara ni ngumu because you still have got to find a way to communicate, and some of them have got timelines. So we're trying to get there. We are not there yet. We are trying to get there, and I know over a period of time we'll get there. But point is valid. For Kaunos, you've made it very clear there, and first you talked about communication and other people are reading, but I will tell you, please, the numbers you want us to write to, you are the one who gives us. The email you want us to communicate to, you are the one who gives us. Please, kama utaki iende huko, unataka iende upande huu, please go change it today. Unaelewa? Get to your portal, change it. Hata hapa nje, you can change it. Because, and if you want to kutoka kwa watu wengine, ibaki tu yako, the key person, you are allowed to do the change, so that we can communicate to somebody responsible in the organization. We don't send it to everybody else. So I get your point. I think it's an important point that we should communicate specifically to the people who are responsible so that other people don't see what is being communicated. And then you've talked about these issues of that we are not moving with speed when we are communicating. And let me say, I want to acknowledge, first of all, but look at where we have come from. Zamani, we were not even having this solution. We were not even pre-filling. Sasa ilikuwa, and I tell you that time, watu, just to let you know what was happening, people will decide which invoice to report for VAT and which one not. I'll tell you, it was disaster. So we were, right now, if you look at the collection for VAT, it has grown significantly because now we can see the transactions. Prior to that, you will decide. You'll even decide, I will declare when I've been paid. So if you are paid 180 days, that's when you declare. But now we can be able to see the transactions. Now, what we are doing now is to enhance what we call our data analytics engine to catch up. So that we can be able, immediately people file, we can be able to do, check the analysis quickly and give feedback. And we have been investing in that. In the next 3 months, we should have had that capacity. So you should be able to see by around August, September, we will not wait. Utafile namna hii, tunakuambia. We even want to make it easier. If somebody has not filed, inakuambia hizi zilikuwa filed immediately. So that now you engage. Because by the way, you also want to ask your supplier, hasa wewe, nini unafanya? Because you see honestly, sasa wewe unauza na wewe you're not doing it. Nini unafanya? You know those kind of things. Also, there are some cases whereby, for some reason, and I'm not saying that is your case, lakini tumeziona. So it's good to seme what we are seeing. Siku hizo unapata mtu fulani anapeana tu invoices to other people so that they can reduce their tax liability. Anapeana tu invoice, there is no supply. Anapeana invoice, alafu anafanya ukora ingine huko, so that now there is liability. Hata mwingine hata they don't even do anything else. They also file and show that they are supposed to pay the tax. And then they don't pay. Mostly they come through a company. Now that company, ukiangalia vizuri, the person in control of the company is not the shareholder. amepitia huko Nyeri, amepata ID mahali, amechukua, ameform company. Kenyans wanafanya maajabu Then he forms a company, anafanya hizo ukora, alafu wanakupa. So sometimes we ask the question, like for example in your situation, we ask the question, if you give us evidence that goods were supplied and you made payment, that is what you need to give us. That's the feedback you give. Sema hizi, please don't remove them. Why? I can demonstrate to you that I was invoiced, there was a supply, and I paid for them. And here is the evidence. If you give us that, we will never disallow. Because the moment you've told us already that there is somebody who is existing. And if that person has not declared and you've given us that information, why would we follow you? We actually gave them a PIN and we gave them VAT obligation. We follow them. So you cannot be able to take that liability in that kind of a situation. So it's probably we didn't give that option. I think maybe what we are learning from you, which we need to change, is that we tell you, you need to disallow or give us evidence as to those 3 steps I've told you. When you give us that, we will not come back to you. We will go to them. But we have asked that for some other people, and we did not find any payment. We don't find any supply. So we got to know that maybe these were being used to reduce the tax liability here. So we try to manage in every situation, and there are always difficult situations, but we try to work out in that situation. Thank you very much. Maybe we take the next lot.
Thank you very much. At the back, at least I've seen 2 hands. Let me allow the 2 of them to ask because they raised at the same time.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Nyukabi from Laikipia County. I'm sorry, I'll have to go back to auto-population, but my case is on output tax. I think the VAT Act is very clear on the tax date. The tax point. And it doesn't say anywhere that the ETIM's date has anything to do with the tax point. So there's a scenario where we are working with devices. So just like the KRA system, the devices tend to fail the last day of the month. So you've done your invoices and on the last day of the month, and the device fails. So you're not able to pass through your invoices through the device, which now has to roll over to the next month. So you file your return and you pay your output tax in the correct month. And then when you come to file the following month, the invoices have been auto-populated in the month that the ETIMS was generated. So you cannot, now you have paid them in the previous month, they are in the current month. So now the issue there, and coming to KRA, of course the issue of adjusting your return downwards is an issue, which I want to think that KRA should be very, very, they should be very, as in genuine, like when I come and amend my return to pay more tax, you're very efficient. But if I come and I want this tax is not supposed to be paid, it's an issue. It takes years. I have an issue of PAYE return that dates back, I think, 5 years. That has never been resolved by KRA. So that's one question. The other thing is about the special table. On companies that are put on special table, and when they were removed, there's the penalties of non-filing. So what happens to those? Is the taxpayer supposed to pay? The other thing is I want to also emphasize on the issue of the emails that you are getting on wrong input tax. So I've got several, but the first one came, and I think after a few days, I got an apology from KRA saying that that email was wrong. So I'm just sitting, waiting for an apology for the other emails. So what if they don't come? What happens? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow her at the back who had raised. Oh, okay. Sorry, it was not a her. Sorry, sir.
So good morning. My name is afternoon. I'm sorry. Gitonga Dwiri from GTN TV, and I'm going to ask questions related to this matter. Remember that this event is live from GTN TV, so I'm going to ask questions raised by our audience who are watching live. And one is Hari Kimani, who is asking if someone bought items from a person without items, how would they do the filing? That is one. We have two. What measures is KRA doing to address compliance challenges and also reducing compliance burden that slows down business growth? And maybe finally, the last one, how will KRA incorporate taxpayer feedback from this forum into actual policy? And those are some of the questions we are getting from Facebook, that is GTN TV Digital, as well as SMS, among others.
Thank you, Gitonga. We go to this row. There's someone in front, if there's none at the back. Here, this row. Okay, you will come back. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Gakuo Mwangi. And maybe I'll go back to the question that had been raised by Mr. Kiguta. And it is on issue, especially around manufacturing, where you find that the manufacturers are remitting their invoices and they are being captured. But you'll find that from the customers that they are buying from, especially the raw materials, who are farmers, they cannot get the receipt, and I think the commissioner had tried to do that. Then when it comes to the invoicing of that customer, because you have indicated that I can do the invoice for that customer, can I do the KRA aligned invoice without that customer's authority? Because now here I'll be left with the two options. To take the raw material, it could be maize, it could be grass, hay, or maybe not to take the raw material from that farmer. In that way, of course, I have discouraged the farmer from his farming operation, and they also have gone to a disadvantage of not getting the raw material from that farmer. The other question that we could put is about the cost of the ETR machines. They are still a burden, going to 40,000 and over sometimes, and we are asking whether KRA can look at that at the guide at the reduction of the cost. Then the other issue of the pins. KRA has indicated that the people with the pins are about 22,000, that it is only about 80,000. Which are remitting compliance. And what now we find is that out of 22,000, KRA is going to unearth the almost 14,000 pins that have been dormant. What are you going to do about those pins? Are you going now to penalize those 14,000 pins? Which would be something that would scare people out of the country. Thank you.
It is 22 million and 8 million respectively, right? Okay, let me have him because we had skipped this row.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Tim Aston on behalf of the medical services. I have two questions. One is on how long does VAT deregistration takes? Because we've applied for a deregistration of one of our companies and it has taken now 7 months. I have become a regular visitor at the KRA offices to confirm whether it has gone through. My second question is on the legacy debt. We received an email on a legacy debt of 2013 and 2012 and 2013, and we had filed. But at that point that we received the email, we did not have the audited accounts because they are already at the archives. So immediately we got the letter, we had to apply for a payment plan, and we paid the first installment. But later on, we got our audited accounts document, we took it to our tax agent, and then he told us that now that we've gotten it, you can assume that you did not receive the letter because no one will come issuing a demand letter. So, question is, are we likely to receive another demand letter on the same? And secondly, on the legacy debt, during transition, because we are told that interns were hired to upload the data on the system, are they going to be pulled down because they're already on the system, those that were erroneously put on the system?
Okay, thank you. I think we are done. This row, someone had asked at the back. Let's go the next, and then we'll come for the next round. Kindly. Let's have the questions answered.
Very well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those good questions. Again, I want to appreciate. Let me begin from Nyokabi. Nyokabi, you are right. You are spot on something we need to address, because you talked to something very, very important. You know, when you're using eTIMS, there is the use of the machine or the use of the tool, and then there is the transmission. And there could be a difference. You could have done, and then the transmission has taken to another month. And I agree with you, because then what you have done is that in the month that you knew that the invoices are, you've added those ones. Then again, the following month, you find that again it's pre-populated there again. So it's a challenge that we need to address. You know, sometimes when you come up with a system, we try to make it to put controls into it, so that it helps the taxpayers, it also helps us, so that there are no gaps, so that also, you know, from our side, it cannot be abused. And we've taken note of that. Specifically, this is not the first time we have heard about it, so we are making a provision so that we can be able to do what we call adjustment from the back office to help. And just to let you know something a little bit technical, but don't worry about it. When we use the eTIMS information, we transfer that eTIMS information into another system called the iTax. And so that transfer, you see, there's always a lag. You can see, and that lag can create problems. So we are trying to see how we can be able to integrate so that the system speaks the same language, so that it can read, so that we can be able to see, oh, this invoices has already been reported last month, so I should not pre-populate. You get it? So it's a gap we have noted. It's something that we need to address, and so we have got to do it very quickly. And there's something you mentioned there. You say genuine. I thought you wanted to say that we should be agile, but I get your point that we need to address to be as agile as possible when we do these kind of things. I also appreciate something you mentioned there is at least KRA send an apology. Sivo, Solituma, that's something positive. At least we send an apology. So I think the beauty is that you're waiting for other apologies to come, but at least we send one. So we are human beings. Sivo. So KRA, we are human beings. Sivo, yeah? We've got feeling and we listen to you, and when we think we have made a mistake, because humans are to errors, civil, we make mistakes, we accept. And we correct that, and we'll be able to check on the others. If there's an issue also, we'll definitely tell you here, we have made mistakes, we correct it, and we go and we do that. We are encouraging our staff to do that, so that it is important that they understand that behind it is not an AI, but it is real people who, once they have made mistake, they can come forward and resolve the issue. You talked about elements of penalty and interest. We have done two things, but if we put you on special table, and now we have removed you, remember you are not able to file. So two things may have happened. Even the input claims that we may have had, some of them may have gone beyond 6 months. Yet the genuine input claim, you remember there's a cap for 6 months. Our officers are enabled to help you to relax so that you can claim even beyond 6 months. Also, the same officers, okay, are able to remove any penalty that comes through that. It's called an erroneous penalty that is coming through that. They are also enabled to do that. But in addition to that, just to let you know something that is coming up, it's good for you to know, is that when we got opportunities for what we call amnesty, and you must have heard that there's an amnesty that is coming up in this financial year. You've seen it in the finance bill, We take opportunity of that to wipe any penalties that are there, whether they are erroneous, okay, or if they are even genuine, but the principal amount has been paid, we take advantage and we clean the taxpayers' ledger so that it is clean. We do not want to. Yeah, so you can see there are enough safeguards. The officers can do it. There is also a big opportunity coming that we will not want to miss to update your ledger. When it comes to Gitonga, first of all, let me appreciate that you put us live and you're giving us feedback from the audience who are looking at us electronically. We really appreciate for that. That is very good thing that you've done, and we want to appreciate the TV for doing that. To bring into some of the things that they have brought in is that they have told us what happens for people who have issued invoices without ETIMs. So what happens when you've got that? So for last year, what we've done for last financial year, 2025, I know you now know, within the return, we are allowing ETIMs invoices that are, we're allowing expenses, legitimate business expenses that are non-ETIMs. We are allowing, although the law says no, but because we are in a transition period, for 2025, we have made the amendments in the return. You can go there and you can put them, and you can be allowed as legitimate expenses. The only thing we are asking of you is that please tell us who are these people. So we are telling you, you tell us through the PIN, if you have the PIN, or through the names. It is important so that we can also ask them a question. Why are you not onboarding? We can go and educate them and see so that they can do it correctly. And we can also help them with their tax compliance into the future. So we are doing that deliberately, but we are allowing for 2026, we want as much as possible not to have that situation next year. So we are encouraging that people do commercial activities within the systems. And also there's something else we are doing, which you will soon hear about it, is that if you are doing it within a certain system, you do not have to necessarily have yourself to enter it. If, for example, you are doing it within an M-Pesa platform or others, we are already having a discussion with them to see how those transactions, you do not have another obligation, but as long as you transact within those systems, you meet the standard. That is trying to remove the friction that we are seeing. We are seeing that there are some people who have got friction, and friction to adapt some of these technology tools. So we are continuing to engage to find a solution for that. Now, and the other issues is compliance challenges, that slows growth. I think I've started speaking to that, but let me speak to that. Anything that we identify that are slowing growth of the business, because tax is supposed to be neutral. Even compliance for tax is supposed to be neutral. That's why we are bringing all these simplified solutions to make it to make it easier, so that you don't have to incur costs to comply or take much more time to comply. It is our responsibility to reduce that cost as much as possible. And you'll be seeing proposal, for example, for collecting tax at source, proposal of like what I've just mentioned now, if you're within an ecosystem, where transactions are happening, then you do not have any other obligation as long as you're in that system. The transactions are visible for tax purposes. So we'll try to do that. We'll try to reduce as many things as possible. Pre-fill the returns so that you don't have to hire someone in car costs to do it. We pre-fill for you and we show you that information. Make things available for yourself. Any good practice that is being done for taxpayers around the world, wherever it is, we are looking at it and we are trying to see what we can be able to adapt in our environment to make it better and easier for compliance. What about the feedback that we get from these issues and how it can inform policy? There are people here recording all the issues that are being lifted here. And there are lists of things that we identified that we need to do. If it requires administrative action, we take. If it requires a policy, we take. So like, for example, you have seen there's a proposal now to change the filing of the returns. You must have seen that in the finance bill. We got it from yourselves. You told us, why do we wait for someone to file nil 6 months later? It doesn't take you 6 months to know that you can file nil civil. If you don't have an income, we make it easier for you. We make it easier and easier for you to come early. So there's that proposal that is there to help those people who they don't have to wait to queue like everybody else. 6 months later, they can even get to know that they are not ready, and they can get to know within a month, maybe they didn't have income in that year. So the things that you give us, there's administrative action, and what requires policy action, we also share with our relevant ministry, which is the Ministry of the National Treasury, to be able to be included in the changes in the policy. Again, they are always again subjected to public participation, like what is happening right now. It's a huge public participation. Feedback again is received. Before now they are turned into law. So there are enough safeguards on the way. Again, I want to appreciate Gitonga and your team for the good job that you are doing, making sure that Kenyans get to know what is happening here at Nyeri. For Gakuo Mwangi, very important issue there that you've raised about invoices that you are getting that are not items, especially from raw material farmers. And it is a point that we need to educate. We need to educate those farmers as much as possible. We need to support them. We have taken note. We have now started the outreach to get to the farmers at the lowest level. And we take even note of the proposal that was put before earlier, that even through chiefs, through the administration, we can be able to get, and through the farmers organizations, we can be able to get to them. So for now, we appreciate and we allow you to claim the expenses, even as we reach out to them. So we are not blocking. We are not blocking anyone from claiming those expenses, because indeed, they are legitimate expenses for your business. And legitimate expenses for your business, we have got to accept them, and so we are making sure that we do that. You asked that we should issue invoices without their notice. The easier way is to educate them. Because when we tell these farmers that if you are earning up to this much and you don't have to pay tax, they will not be afraid. Civil. You know, some of them think that the moment you've just declared your KRA imekumulika, sasa utakuwa na mambo ingine. I think there's a lot of misnomer that we need to address. And also, tell them, even when you reach the threshold and you are still wewe ni mtu wa mkulima mdogo, the tax that you can qualify for is what we call a turnover tax. The rate of tax for turnover tax on the total amount is only 1.5%. For out of 100 shillings, ni shilingi moja na simuni. It is so low. And you don't have to do anything else. So we have got a very good message to send to them. And we take note that we may not have been reaching out to the farmers earlier, but now we have got to reach out to them, and we must educate them as much as possible. You brought the other element, Bwanagaku, on the cost of the gadgets. Let me tell you something. What we did is that we moved away from the gadgets. You know those ones, the devices. We also gave options to everyone. The options we have given is a web solution, USSD. you have an app, inaingia kwa simu yako, you don't have to incur cost. Those options are free. The only option, for example, probably that costs are incurred is if you've got a system and you need to integrate, there could be that cost. Now, even there are options these days to even use KRS system. We call it an online solution. It's a KRS system whereby anytime you want to issue an invoice, you go through that, the option they've given you, the shuru. You go to the number. If you go to the services you want to issue an invoice, you can issue an invoice there. Unaweka to the quantities and its issues. You don't have to incur cost. Why did we do this? Is you have invested in technology to remove the cost from yourself. As much as possible to remove the cost from yourself here. But if you have got many transactions, maybe then that one you have got a system. And that systems, we have also done something which you must have seen. We have got something called Gava Connect. Gava Connect is basically APIs, the application interfaces that interlink the systems so that the invoices, when they have been issued the other side, they just get into KRA systems automatically without a problem. Again, that is available. So there are many routes, that have been made available to support our taxpayers. For the gap of the taxpayers that are not paying, I think the truth of the matter is not the 14 million all of them must pay. Kumbuka kuna students huko ndani, sivyo? Students hawana income, sivyo? Kuna wengine pia their income is still lower, si ndio? They are vulnerable, Ukianza kupunguza hiyo, I think you probably have got a pool of about, from the 14, we probably are looking for a pool around 6 million, thereabout. So we remove, because there are some students who have reached 18 and they have gotten a PIN, they have opened a bank account. The only amount they are receiving there, is for their education. Those ones are not taxpayers, because tax is paid on income. The same with anybody who has got an income that doesn't go beyond 288,000 a year. Those ones, again, they will not pay taxes. So the number comes down. And the number that comes down, whatever number it is now, we start this process of identifying them, discussing, helping them to comply, because you can see a lot of them are telling us they want to comply. It's only sometimes they don't understand what is the obligation, other things. There's what we call an information gap that we must address. So we will support them in that way. We will also take advantage if there's any penalty and interest, because the law now allows, when the law is made to change, amnesty, we remove those penalty and interest, support them, and then they go forward. We want them to mature. Mtoto lazima ana crawl before akimbie, sivyo? So we take that journey together. That is the intention. We take that journey. It's not good to punish many people because of this. Is we work together with them, and then soon we know they'll mature and they'll be in a good place as we go forward. For instance, you talked about the registration that has taken 7 months. I'm surprised. If there is no liability, if everything has been paid up to date, and now you are deregistering for VAT purposes, it should take a shorter period of time. But if it's taken long, there could be something. There could be a liability outstanding. There could be some penalty and interest. I do not want to speculate on the case, but I have got my chief manager here, and plus a team. Somebody will have to pick that specifically. And these days they can access the system even when they are here. I'd want them to give me a feedback immediately so that I give you a feedback before we close. If there is no issue, we should support. And I should find out why, if there was no issue, because I just don't want to pick it as an isolated matter. I want to make sure that we've got a system that speaks to our people. And it's a long time. And yes, there was some legacy debt that were there, and there are even legal issues. Legal issue because, under the law, I'm not supposed to start opening inquiry on your affairs after 5 years. You know that, That is in law. But however, we are looking at this with a view of taking a position with National Treasury. So that discussions are ongoing. I do not want to give an announcement to the public now, because it is a responsibility of the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, to do that, because some of that debt could be reconciliation issues, So maybe the debt is really not, and maybe sometimes like the way you are put under pressure to get audited accounts for 2013 is a long time. And it's really a problem. So we holistically want to take a position within the law and see how we can be able to find a solution to this. So I'll leave it at that, but it's something we are looking at. And overall, we have got something close to about 700 billion that is lying in here, that we must take a position as a country, whether we will insist on it or whether we can then be able to find a way to abandon any tax that is in this space so that we can give taxpayers a relief going forward. And that's what we are looking at. How we can make things better now tukiendelea na mbele. Si hivyo inakuwa afadhali. From now as we go forward and we try to make it as better as possible. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think we are on the penultimate round because of time. Looking at it is exactly 12:40. I will give you a chance. I'm only giving an announcement. How many rounds do we still go? Because considering it's 12:40. One more round. Ama two? Exhaust. Okay. So we'll go as many rounds as possible. Let him ask.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel. From Sako in Nyandarua. My name is Samuel from Sako in Nyandarua, and I have a sad issue with one of my colleagues. He is a teller, and unfortunately, after producing an e-slip PRN, we gave it to him so that he can pay in line with the strict KRA deadlines. And because sometimes the work can be busy, he made just a single number mess with the PLN. So instead of paying for 4,300, it paid for 370,000 to KRA. That is like 2 years ago. So we have tried to help him through the offices that we know. Unfortunately, nobody has been able to help us. So the gentleman has been forced to take a loan, a very huge loan, a loan with interest. He has been paying for the last 24 months. So he has been paying for the loan for the last 24 months, a loan with interest, and it is something so disturbing because as a teller, you have to ensure that you are doing your work, and at the same time, you want to meet the deadlines that are there for you to do that work. Sometimes you get confused, okay? So when such an issue occurs, and there is a difference of close to 365,000, I thought it would be good for the KRA officials to ensure that they solve such an issue, rather than making that person suffer for the next 3 years to come. He took a loan for 5 years. He will be paying for that loan. So I would like that issue to be addressed for that gentleman to be at peace. Anytime he hears the name KRA, he freezes. He even lost his family because he cannot be able to take care of himself and for the family because of just a single PRN error, just one number. Number two, we usually file for the returns, the company returns, and we make sure that we are following the deadlines. But every other time we do file the returns, there are penalties. We pay the taxes that are to be paid. we pay the remaining balances, but even after doing that, there are penalties which are imposed. And we have paid within the deadlines. So we wonder, what are we supposed to do? And it's not small penalties, sometimes even up to 60, 70,000. So we would be happy if those two issues are addressed. At a personal level, I would be very, very happy for that gentleman, his issue to be specifically addressed, because we have tried all means without success. Bwana George Obel, I believe that is your name, even if you didn't tell us, kindly address that issue for me. I would be the happiest person.
My name is Joseph Gitau, one of the tax consultants. And Bwana Commissioner, we first congratulate the KRA because the way the KRA is handling the stakeholders' issues is better than many years ago. So last time, many years, we saw KRA coming to our places. We close even the shops. You find like places like in Nyeri, yote wamefunga. So, but your approach is very good nowadays. But you need also to get what the people are saying for you to be 100% or 90%. My question is on, as you are saying, you are very much repeating that you have no problem with the returns. And I must assure you that these people you can see here, most of them are not able to file their returns. And as my stakeholder, another one member said there, it seems as if by the end of 30th June, you may not find us filing those returns. Mainly because, like us now, the consultants, we are dealing with many businesses, SMEs, and it is very difficult. As you are saying, we try to input the return on what you are saying that on the other side, on the non-ETIM expenses. But they are not going through, as you said, because they are asking for the PIN for the person, who, if it is an expenditure. Also for purchases, not many people maybe have the ETIM receipts. They are not going through. So I'm assuring you, and these people are my witness, that 80% of these people in this room may not be able to make their returns. And I'm telling you, by the quarter of this June, you find a very big difference on the tax paid, because these people cannot pay tax if they cannot be able to file the returns. They cannot be able to get the PRs for paying payment slips. So I don't know what you are going to do, because we feel very much oppressed because we have finished auditing the accounts. We cannot be able to file the accounts. So I know when you are here, you can be able to communicate, and that one can be done, and you can rest the case. Otherwise, there is no need of cheating you. These people here, they cannot file the returns under the circumstances you are saying. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Auditor. Let me say something. We had an engagement with ISPAC, and we communicated to them that the issue is not on the return refusing to file. It is a technicality on entry. The Commissioner has already communicated that we have allowed for accrual audit adjustment. We have allowed for accrual adjustment. And we have also allowed for non-ETIMS adjustment. Only the steps. Maybe you might need to be guided on step by step. Those who had come to an engagement we had in Nakuru, they were all able to file. Because it is an error message, you are supposed to respond to the error message. It is telling you don't input this, input it on the non-ETIMS. So you have to capture the non-ETIMS on the Excel and capture it on iTax before you upload. So it's basically the procedure, not the system refusing to really accept your return. A good number have been able to file. Maybe you can go forth and be assisted on this particular technicality. Let me give the next row. But you will still respond anyway.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
My name is Grace. I work for an international firm that is located in Nyeri. And I've been sent by my employer to ask several questions related to the international firms. And then number one is we do have export services to them. And these export services are not vatable. Yet we get our purchases from vendors that are local. And that means my purchases are vatable. So that means we don't get refunds for our VAT. So my VAT sits on the balance sheet as amount that KRA should refund us. Yet, it's like a process to get this refund. But we do get emails about our installment tax, about our income tax, but we are also waiting for that VAT. When will KRA come back and pay us that VAT? And again, this is not about it getting audited because it's already auto-populated. So I believe KRA has this information. They already know what they owe us as VAT refund. The second question was about what incentives do you have for international firms? And the third question, it's in regards, I was sent by my dad. My dad works in an open air market. So he do get his supplies from Uganda. That is maybe a bag of maize, a bag of beans. So he will come, sell his whatever he bought, but whoever he's selling to wants him to get him an items invoice. But again, my dad is going to an open air market in Uganda. So he's not able to get an items there. This is not something to do like with China imports, whereby he will get customs. This is just kienyeji style. So about him, I had advised him to go through the TOT method. But again, this TOT also has a house levy. So how is he supposed to go about it?
Can we take one more? This side.
Thank you. My name is Odwar Osman from Kieni West. I'm here to ask one question, one request, and one advertisement to help you collect the tax. The question is, when it gets to a taxpayer who owes KRA money, and the same taxpayer has offered KRA a service that they haven't made the payment to the very taxpayer, does we implement a B2E business, B2B business, whereby we call off the debt na tumalizane? Another request is from people from the Kieni West. They're not capable of getting to town. Fare imepanda, hawajui mambo ya KRA. They were requesting that if I can serve as their KRA tax agent, wakuwa analeta hii kazi na wafanyia, tunamalizana hapo hapo, wasishinde wamekuja town wanapotea, hawajui ofisi ziko wapi, na wame waste time yao. The third one, that is the advertisement. It will go to the MRI, that is monthly rental income. Hawa taxpayers now that tumekutana hapa leo, nikikuja kuambia niko na software yenye saidia nyinyi kupata tenants, wananiambia utatumulika kwa KRA. Sasa leo I am here to address you that this software is running all the way from the advert, geocode to account settler, whereby it advertises your house for free for you. You get the tenant through geocode, inaleta tenant hadi kwa mlango. Then the tenant makes all the payment through the system, that is water bills, electricity, Wi-Fi, other sources like services, etc, gas, ukitaka mtu yote kama plumber, masonry, na tunamalizana hapo hapo. Sasa leo KRA wako hapa, wanialau ni advertise hiyo software kwenu. It is called Sheltergram. Yeyote ako na swali ataniona hapa. Thank you.
Umeuliza na ukaijia lao, sio? Okay, let us allow those questions to be answered, then we can go one more round. Karibu sana Commissioner and team.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. When Osman, before I allowed you, you had already we sheltergram, but really appreciated for that. So let me begin from, I think that we start from Samuel. Yeah. Yeah, I think that we begin from Samuel. So Samuel, you had two cases, and they are very specific cases that I would wish then to pick them up quickly. That issue of this very emotive case about somebody having to take a loan to pay tax. And you talked about a teller, yeah? It means somebody is working in a bank or a financial institution. So we would wish to pick out that specifically. It's a very specific case, we need to pick out that. I think probably the pressure is within the employer, but maybe the issue is with KRA, so we can be able to see what we can be able to do about it. Because maybe the payment was for tax for a certain taxpayer, but the teller came in because he was enabling the transaction. So we can take the details and pick it up. The other thing I'd wish to get to know, this company filing whereby you're saying you pay your taxes in good time and then there is still penalty imposed. What I can assure you is that there is something that is not clear. You know what happens? Our system is coded in accordance with the law. That's the way the system is. So if it was making a mistake for you, it will make a mistake for everyone. It doesn't select. It looks at everybody at one go. Those are codes, those are systems. So again, I'd want your case to be picked out specifically, and I'm happy that one of my colleagues is already with you there so that we can be able to pick, and then we will respond to you very specifically. On the issue of Joseph Gitau, I want to appreciate, first of all, compliments to Kiare. We are happy when you give us compliments. We are yeah. Even since morning, you are the first to give us compliment. Tunafurahi sana. We are happy, yeah? You know, I mean, we want to be encouraged to even continue to be better and better. Sivyo, sasa mtoto akijaribu mzuri, so unampa a compliment. Ataendelea namna hiyo, yeah? So where you've seen that we have done something better, you appreciate us, we make it better, and we continue that way, because we really want to offer. And tujafika bado, we are not at 100%, and we continue to do that. So we really appreciate that compliment from you, and even from the members of the public. When they give us feedback about the work that we are doing, it encourages us. Yeah. I should remember I told you earlier, it's not a very easy job that we do. It's not a very easy. Asunonyo unakumbuka mambo ya Biblia, na mambo ya Zakayo. It was not very easy. So again, so when we encourage, we continue, and it's work that must be done for this country, and there must be somebody else. So it's now us to do it. There are other people before. There'll be other people after us. That's the nature of life. That's the way it continues. I take note of the issue about filing, and I really want to engage, probably specifically, because even I got this kind of, when you go to other places, sometimes you get some specifics. And if the accountants here who are here, probably and their experiences these issues, I want to engage with them, even just at the back of this meeting. The reason being is that we've had several engagements here with ISPAC and others, and even when we went some other place, not too long ago, we were in Meru. And what we did is that we got the accountants in Meru to organize themselves, and we had an online meeting with the accountants in Meru, specifically. And we did it almost immediately. And after we finished, we ironed our problems. And they were able to see changes. And I could see that probably is something we need to do here. So Evelyn is going to reach out to you. She's right here. She's reaching out to you. And we just organize your people quick, okay? We are going to do that. And we are not going to wait. We will probably do it tomorrow or Friday, because our teams are ready, so that we deal with all the issues that are disturbing your teams. All the issues, because we know, and why we are confident is that we already know what we have already offered. Today, at that requirement for PIN, tumetoa. Ile requirement ya agents, that you must have an agent pin pia tumetoa. So we have tried to do it in that manner. So Evelyn is taking your number, and please, if we can organize ourselves, I think I'd be very happy to get my teams to engage with you quickly. And I would say I will leave my team, the local team here. Maybe I will get my team from Nairobi to engage with you. Online, take you through every line. Yeah, and so that we get, And we have seen the numbers peaking in terms of filing. In fact, if you compare this year and last year, we've got more cases filing this year than last year. And we appreciate that, but we do not want to lock anybody who needed to file, but for whatever reason, they are not able to file. We do not want to lock anybody out. We are going to do that very deliberately. For Grace International Farms, first, I can see you've understood what is there. All the exports are zero-rated. So zero-rated is important. When we say zero-rated, it means when you purchase your variable input that you paid is supposed to be refunded to you. So, and I'm assuming that you make the application for refunds because you are required to make the application for refunds. And also when you purely export, we can put you in something called a green channel. We do a fast check if it's an audit, and later now we put you on a green channel because you are dealing with export. So we do not have to keep on auditing. We just authorize because we can see you are exporting. And you know, we have got the information about export is already available in our system. So I'd want to see where exactly you are in the process and whether the applications are being done correctly. And also, if we do not have enough money, because sometimes we don't have enough money to refund, today, that money that is due to yourself can be made available to pay your company taxes. And you talked about the income tax, installment tax. After a period, automatically, if we don't refund you within 6 months, we make it available for you to utilize against your installment tax, automatically. And so I'd want to see where there's a gap, and I'd want my chief manager here to pick it, so that we help you. And anybody else who has got that kind of an issue, we want to help. While we are saying you can use it for installment taxes, we want you to remain in a healthy working capital situation. We do not want to tie your money, and yet we are asking you to pay installment taxes and others. For the taxes for the business, you can be able to utilize this money. And it is automatic under the law now. Once the refund has been confirmed, if we're not refunding because of funding from National Treasury, it's available to pay your taxes. Income taxes, installment taxes, balance of taxes. It can be able to pay those taxes automatically. You've asked what's incentive for export or for farms, and you give a good example of your dad who is buying from Uganda. And I will tell you something. We have got a regime within, we've got a custom regime or East African community regime, whereby you can buy goods the other side and then you can bring them into Kenya. And some of them even do not attract tax because their origin is from that country. That forms your cost. Because the goods that you are selling have come from another country. There is no requirement for e-teams for Uganda, for Kenya. If you understand. They have got their own e-invoice solution, but it is speaking for URA. It doesn't speak for Kenya. So we do not have a responsibility that if you buy from Uganda or any other country than Kenya, that you need to have e-teams compliant. No. Just let your father keep the records properly. We know that we have got a one-stop border, and I'm sure there's a way your father passes with the goods through the one-stop border. You see, when it is done through the one-stop border and it is already, there's always a record that are kept there, which we can be able to verify with. But if there are challenges in the manner it's being passed, still the expenses you have incurred for the goods, including transport, those are legitimate expenses that should be allowed against the sales. And therefore tax should not be on the turnover, tax should only be on the margin. But we'll be very happy to even guide you and help you how to resolve if there's any challenges there. Incentives that could be available in that space, capital allowances of whichever nature, that you're being incurred, those ones are allowable because they are accelerated for deductibility against the income. So it is good to know which one you have, any capital deduction that is allowable for that, for the machinery, for motor vehicle, for whatever it is that is there. All those ones are allowed before you pay taxes. So that is allowed. So Bwana Odwori, you mentioned something, offered services to KRA. I'd wish to clarify here. But in KRA, we have got what we call a Chinese wall. Chinese wall is that there's a way we operate. There's a KRA that has got this responsibility to account for tax, collect and account for tax. And then there's services that is offered in KRA to support that collection of taxes. And those ones, there are accountants there, there are supply chain and all those other people. So what happens is that if you interact with them and they have got to pay you, and there's a liability, they have got to pay you, and then you owe KRA. Now, for the tax side, we can always have an arrangement to ensure that instead of them paying you directly, they can pay your taxes directly. So there's an instrument in law called agency notice that can be sent. We just need to know, and we need to engage, and then we can be able to agree on how to do that. Yeah. And so it is normally done. Even us, when we are collecting tax, even KRA itself has got responsibility to pay tax for their employees. All the employees you see here, pia wanakuwa deducted PYE. Usifikiria hao walipi tax. Wao wanalipa tena na mapema. So when they pay that, it is deducted, tax is deducted and then remitted. So that way, there's a good process there. Regarding the services that you have offered, I'm so happy that you said that, because there will be somebody here in my team. If there's none, then Esther is here. We are rolling out something called Huduma Popote. Huduma Popote, we are actually recruiting agents who are going to offer KRA services to the community. And it is going to increase our footprints. Office footprints is going to increase. And that Huduma Popote, we have already started with Nairobi. I think they are planning for this region. They are already done for this region. So it's already been done, but because of your interest, I'd want to pick the information. Evelyn will do that, so that we reach out to you, because I can see you're I like the energy you have. So we do for the training for you, we give you the training, we even give you, and I'm happy you're talking about software. Yeah? We are able to enable you to do these services within a software environment that access KRA services quickly, and you can be able to offer better services to the community. So that will be done in the process. So Evelyn is coming, she's taking your contact. We'll quickly make sure that you join the agents that we are training, so that you get into that space. And very well, thank you very much for the solution. You know, now you are offering solution to the community, civil. Yeah? You know, that one is a good solution. What was Sumbuki, Wanapara tenants, they can be taken up to the point. And that is the innovation Kenya is known for. Doing good things that create value. Mutu wasumbuki wewe uko na solution, you can be able to make these payments for all these other services and kila kitu. So I'm happy with what you are doing for the community. Anything that we do that add value to the community makes us better, civil. So we appreciate that for that. Yeah. Maybe we take the last round of the questions.
Very well. Thank you, Commissioner, for that. Let me allow the front desk. They are not asked. So you shall ask one. So that
yes, good afternoon. My name is Charles Karuga from the hospitality space. I specialize in food and F&B, food and beverage. But my question will be two-pronged. I'll ask something on where I specialize, and on behalf of the people who are doing accommodation, I'll also ask something. First of all, to appreciate KRA for this session. Maybe this will be targeted to Alice Wahome, because DC Wahome, because as an industry, we are facing competition from unconventional sources, people that were not are not strictly our competitors, but are now giving us, and initially were nibbling at our profit or business, but currently they've grown such that they're gulping. We are losing a lot of business to these non-traditional operators. In the F&B space, we will have what we call freelance caterers. People who offer services, F&B services to the community. Some of them are not even business people. Some are religious organizations. We are now losing business to churches because under the guise of helping or communal welfare, they've gone into business. So I don't know whether your radar is on them because they're actually taking our business. In the accommodation space, Airbnbs, I don't know, maybe if there's a test, I don't know whether from the coordinator, moderator, in your invitation list, did you have Airbnb operators? You invited them? Because a lot of them are not legit. We are also partakers of their services. When we are going on personal business, say holidays, even people who are who operate hotels, they go to Airbnbs because we get value. And from our knowledge point, we know we get that value because those people don't pay tax. That is a fact. Because you'll offer service, say, I won't name any hotel, say a 2.5, a standard hotel. But you'll get superior service at an Airbnb at half that price. So you don't need to guess too much, know what is the reason. I don't know whether you have a strategy to reach out to those operators that are maybe below your radar. So let's see whether you have a strategy for that. Thank you.
Moredi is my name. I'm in the health sector, but the question I'm asking is one to do with skills. In the economy in which we are operating and the environment we are operating, you find that a lot of times you need to keep on upgrading a lot of skills and so on. And a lot of that upgrade, you find that there are courses all over the place, especially online courses. And you make for employees
forum. What I have picked from all the conversation here, it is all about communication. KRI need to communicate more and more and more. So that if we don't have a forum like this one, then you stay for a very long time, then we have no engagement. We need to have serious engagement. Something else I would like you to understand, and people, many taxpayers have fallen a victim of the same. I don't know, could be me or somebody else, but there is one problem. A situation whereby an auditor or an accountant disagree with an employer, they fix them through KRA. True or false? You find they mess up somewhere, they put some data, then from there, you find that you are fighting the KRA. You should come up with a mechanism to litigate that kind of a scenario. And I think that can save so many of the problems. So that we don't see you as if you collaborate with the auditors. And probably you're not even aware, okay? So that's something that needs to be taken. The other thing is civic education. That's what can solve the problem that you're having here. Civic education, because I'm also learning so many other things. And again, what I have realized is that the time that we have is not enough. We have manufacturing, we have the housing. Mine is different, mine could be personal. So we need to have civic education. So by so doing, I want to appreciate the Nyeri office with the commissioner. This is an office that I have engaged with it very much. And I have seen the kind of the people that you have there. Clap for Nyeri office. And I know, I'm saying this, siku apaka mafuta, I have been with them, I have walked the journey with them, and I understand them. Where I sit in my office at GTN, I want to give the Nyeri office a package of 600,000 free of charge, do shows at GTN, so that we enlighten people of Nyeri. So at least we can also give back something to you. Si mnafanya vizuri. And we can also appreciate you because at least today we are seated here, you have sponsored us. We can see the value of our tax. Yeah. And I think we are going to engage more so that we can also give back to the community, even out there. Something I would like you to address, and we sit together, is about the Gen Zs. Some fear KRA. We want to demystify the concept that you are monsters. True or false? It has been like that, isn't it? Anytime somebody wants to start a business, it's like a criminal offense. Where chunga KRA. Anytime we are starting a business, we are coached how to learn a way to pay tax. That is very wrong, isn't it? So we need now to come up with something, a narrative, whereby they find, even before they start, they will come and consult you. I want to start a business in a friendly way. And by so doing, we are going to change the whole narrative, and all of us, we are in business, we are in peace. You will not even have a problem with the taxpayers who are currently doing the paying. Because those who have hidden themselves there, wanafurahia sana. Sisi tunalipa, ndio tunakimbishwa. Isn't it? It becomes as if a criminal offense when we come to pay tax. So that's why people are really avoiding to do that. But once we change that, and I think everybody want to pay. Everybody want to pay. But now the problem is when there is a small hit, it's like you're carpeted. So with those few remarks, I say thank you so much. Let's continue the engagement and we shall get somewhere.
Thank you very much. Let me allow her at the back. She was the first to raise her hand.
Hi, I'm Caroline. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My question is about those people who do online, kufinya computer unapata $1. First of all, I've always wondered, I was going through the resources that you have on your website, and I was trying to figure out what rate, because if you're paid in another currency, what rate are you supposed to be converting that into? And so that it doesn't conflict when you have to come and report, and then probably by the time you're being followed up, you're being told those things are very different. For me, I've relied on the CBK rates at the end of the month, but yeah, I think that would be clarified. Yeah, and then also like, you haven't really addressed that. Like on your website, I don't think there is a very clear, you have a very general way of telling people if you are earning digitally how to file taxes, but you're not going deeper into like maybe individuals, because sometimes you're contracted and you're engaged as a consultant, but when you come to the KRA side, you're trying to figure it out and sometimes it's not that clear. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow him to ask as well because you raised at the same time.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Paul Kagiri. I work at Metropolitan Sanctuary. It's an NGO based in Kamakwa. And we are currently applying for tax exemption certificate. So my question is, which taxes, if we succeed to, if we get the approval to get the certificate, which taxes are we exempt from? And if we get that certificate, which is the e-teams, will it reflect on the e-teams? And I would like to also give a situation that happened yesterday, that we bought some materials and we gave out our KRA pin to the vendor. And the vendor alikataa kabisa. And so what should we do when a person is compliant na KRA, but now when we give them our KRA pin, anakataa? Asante.
A last one. Allow the gentleman next to you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. My name is Haron Kiombe, and this gentleman mentioned about Ushuru Mashinani. I want to confirm to you, Commissioner, that now we have Ushuru Mashinani. I'm part of the Ushuru Mashinani. Okay, sir. Now, I come all the way from Muranga, and to be honest, the main business in Muranga is about avocado business. And all of us, we are talking about farmers and how they give e-teams. And I really want to understand what is the cost of, for instance, kutengeneza hiyo avocado ikue up to the point that it is. Because I'm expected to issue sales, but there's absolutely no expenses. You know, kukuza that avocado to that point. I know probably you're going to mention about TOT, but remember TOT is limited to, I think 25 million, if my memory serves me right. So I think it's important we consider for those people who don't want to do TOT. I think the next question was to go to Madam. Forgot your name. Yeah, the issue of VAT obligation. I think it's becoming very difficult for us to get the VAT obligation. Maybe you can mention about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To that far, let us, we say in where I come from, you leave something while still sweet, so that you continue sometimes in the near future. We have in our walls a QR code. It is in the screen as well. If you have a smartphone, you can take a QR code scanner and scan. The feedback you are giving will be consolidated together with what you have already asked verbatim, so that it is put as one document. So if you are not able to ask the question on the microphone, this is another platform we are picking the feedback. So I'll allow Commissioner and team to respond to the final comment, and then he makes a final comment, and then we give directions on how we are going to take our lunch. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I know Commissioner has responded to most of the issues. I may not need to repeat, but I'll go to Crispus. Was it Crispus? Yes, thank you very much, even for the compliment you have given the KRA Nyeri team. I'm also very proud of them because they are serving you. I hope that is the feeling for everyone, but in case there is any problem, we are here to solve. We have heard you, and the issue of protection, actually you have shown us much trust for you to accept to come to this forum, and the way you have engaged us very openly, candidly, we really appreciate. Of course, we will protect what you have said. And even the issues you are raising, we have committed to resolve them. Most of them were very personal, and we will get to you and resolve your issues specifically. And Commissioner said before he leaves, some of them should be done. And the team is here. I think they will be introduced from Kirugoya, from Nanyuki, from Muranga. They are all here, just in case your pin is in those areas and not in Nyeri. We'll be able to support you. Civic education, Commissioner has said, and we have heard that we need to be more present. And thank you for offering us an opportunity to be able to reach out to people so that they may understand and they continue supporting us. The work we are doing is not very easy. It is really a very hard task, and we need your support, and we also need God to help us, because removing money to pay, even as we are taxed, and we are taxed very heavily, thank you for observing that, and you feel the pain, yet your next neighbor is not paying tax, and you wonder why are they not paying. So civic education and just collaborating with other parties in the area to ensure that people do understand. I will not talk about the agencies. Maybe Commissioner has a better word for that, and it is good you hear from him. Caroline talked about the online business, the conversion rate. I think when you are paid, so I think the CBK rate is the basic minimum for conversion of your income. Then after you have converted into Kenya shillings, then again you compute the taxes applicable for the payment you get. We have heard about our website, which is not maybe well updated, and we have the team. Our DC Grace is usually in charge of that, and we're going to pick that up and maybe put some enhancements on our website to ensure that you receive the information that you have indicated. On tax exemption by Paul, it all depends on your business and what you are doing. If it's a church, a religious organization, there are some incomes which will be exempted. And so in your application for the exemption, you specify what is it that you want exempted, to be exempted from tax. And our people will look at it, advise you accordingly, and we'll be able to give you the exemption that you require. I think I will leave it at that and allow, because Murigi was very specific, he wants Madam Esther to respond on the e-teams, non-e-teams expenses. And overall, we are very happy about the feedback we are getting, and we are going to ensure that the feedback which Commissioner has committed, we're going to take action on everything, whether administratively or even through policy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, DC Alice. So probably just to pick up from where she left on tax exemption, maybe something to add is that the current application that is based on paragraph 10, and I don't know whether that is the one you're applying for. Is it? Paul? It's the paragraph 10. So paragraph 10 exemption is specifically on income tax. So when you apply under paragraph 10, it means the income of the institution is what is exempt. I hope we are clear. The income you receive as an organization. So I'll give the background. Churches, for example, receive tithes, offerings, and such. When you apply for an exemption, then it means that the tithes, offering, and any other income is exempted from tax. So you will not be paying income tax. If you are an NGO, the exemption is basically based on donations that you receive, because you are exempted to utilize that money for purposes of alleviation of poverty or distress. So it is your income that is exempt. However, if as an NGO, you are then doing things that are outside, like donor fund. For example, we have cases where they have a restaurant. I have had a case for a church, and in addition to tithes offering, they have a restaurant, and I think, or a school, or something like that. Then this restaurant, they are doing business. So you need to issue e-teams, invoices. But if under that PIN you've been exempted, and that's where the restaurant business is, then it means as much as you've issued e-teams, then the income consolidated minus expenses is exempt. The key thing is to demonstrate that that income is being utilized for alleviation of poverty and distress, because we've had cases where we've exempted and then you use the money the way you want, like giving directors, or we can't see the contribution to the society. So that's the only thing I wanted to add there. Now, let me go back to, I don't think I got his name, on the freelance Karuga business and the Airbnb. I want to confess here now that taxing the cash economy has become the biggest nightmare for the Kenya Revenue Authority. And it's not just for that sector. It's for very many sectors. Where someone decides to trade in cash, then visibility of that business becomes very hard, which is why some of these initiatives we brought up, like e-teams, are in place, where then we obligate the buyer to obtain an e-teams receipt. Now, the businesses that you've actually highlighted are some of the areas we've been reviewing to see how do we get to them. Because if, for example, I come and sleep in Nyeri here and sleep in an Airbnb, chances are I'll pay that person in cash, right? Then, as someone who slept, I will not go ahead to ask for a e-teams receipt. So one of the things we are trying to do is how can we incentivize the consumers to demand for an e-teams receipt, so that, and it's something we are reviewing broadly to see, can we even come up with loyalty points or even some sort of a tax rebate if you demand for a tax receipt. Yeah, so that we give you points which you can use against your tax. That's one of the things we are doing. But the broader strategy is how can we integrate, like for example Airbnb, how can we integrate with Airbnb themselves so that then we get visibility of people who are using the platform. There are strategies we are trying to come up with, but I can tell you it's not a very easy task. But tax-based expansion is a composition of very many things. One of the things is how present are we at your location. For example, and I liked what he said, he wants to assist us in Kieni. When we are visible in a particular location, probably it will help in terms of taxpayers complying. I'll give you a recent case in scenario. We went various regions and taxpayers told us, you guys are telling us to pay, what about Isli? They asked us, what about Isli? What are you doing about them? Yeah, and it's because Isli is more of a cash economy. So the strategy is based on a particular sector. So like for example in Isli, then we have our people there at the malls to then make sure it's more of a physical verification, even as we look at other strategies that we can bring people on board. But I'm happy to get your ideas on how do you think then we can bring these people on board who yet they are competing for the same market, but they are not paying tax. I would be happy to get ideas, but broadly we are trying to see how we can work on third-party integrations, e-teams receipt, our presence on the ground, and also simplifying our services and also education. So broadly, that's what we are working on. But it's not an easy journey. Kazi yangu ni ngumu. Wacha tu niwaambie ukweli, kazi yangu ni ngumu. And as he said here, you should become our ambassadors. So when you hear someone then hesitating to tell someone that you are selling to me and you're refusing to give me a receipt, that it makes me very sad. Because then what we are saying is that you're actually comfortable for that person to sell to you. Your income is being taxed, but theirs is not. Let me just be honest, because we can keep going round and round and round, but until we have this culture of kila mtu alipe tax. So if you are selling to me, you need to give me an e-teams receipt. Me, I'm just begging the people who are there in this hall. We cannot encourage people to sell to you and they are running away from giving you a receipt, because it's the only way they will be able to pay tax. So please tell them that you being able to even get that PIN, it is very easy. *2#, you will get a pin. And then you don't even need to go far. *2#, you can give me an ETIMS receipt. If you don't want to give me an ETIMS receipt, I can also give you an ETIMS receipt. But I'll say this, the culture of failure to pay tax, I think is what is, you know, you hear someone saying, huyu supplier amekataa. Amekataa kutupatia nini? ETIMS. I think it's also a high time I'm requesting as the person who is given, kazi yetu commissioner amesema ni ngumu. Because we are trying to build a culture of people paying tax. What if you insisted that, why don't you want you to give me a receipt? Remember, if the income of the farmer is not within the taxable threshold, we are not going to tax them. Okay? But most of these people who are hiding are the ones who are driving the Prados and the Mercedes and these other cars and living in very good places. Lakini wanasema ni hustlers. The only way we can tell if they are hustlers or not is if we have visibility of their income. So my request is, even as we try to see how to align our system, please insist on an ETIMS receipt. Akikataa muambie, the burden of paying taxes for all of us. Anajua mtaniambia zingine si practical sababu atakataa kukuuzia, but I'm just pleading, even as we move there, let's try and drive a culture of tax payment. That's the only way we probably will be able to drive our nation forward. And that applies also to the issue of training. The issue of training, if you're training someone, you can actually give them a receipt yourself if they have the PIN. With the knowledge that, hautalipa tax, ETIMS sio tax. ETIMS is just a visibility of, I am actually incurring a cost that is legitimate. Ukikosa kunipea hiyo ETIMS, hata mimi sita claim the expense. So let me deal with probably the issue of VAT obligation delays. And I would want very specific details on this one, because we have the timelines we give for you to be able to be given a VAT obligation. So such delays then would need to be explained by either you didn't produce the right information for you to be given the obligation, or then there could be our own internal inefficiencies. So I would actually want to get the particular cases, because I know Mr. Omao here and the team can be able to look into it and see how to assist. I think the others, DC Harris had looked at them, so I think I'll leave it there. Maybe for Omao to comment. Yeah.
Allow me to stand. Good afternoon. I know we've been seated for long, and I would have taken a minute just to allow you to stand and just stretch. Just stand and stretch a bit, just 1 minute. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We can be seated. I know we are coming to the end of the engagement session. Allow me to make a few critical points. Point number one, there was a question raised by one of our auditors on how to be assisted to validate the expenses. As we speak, one of the sessions was being conducted in the morning between 9 and 11, but we have 2 more sessions that are coming up tomorrow between 11 and 1, and the link will be shared. Then there will be another session on Friday between 2:30 and 4:30. And that basically will cover the concerns that we have on validating the claimed expenses. Okay? Then that will, in essence, tackle the question of one of us on growing of avocado and how to determine the cost that is incurred in growing that crop to the point where the fruits are ready for sale. How do you capture that expense? On deregistration, one of us, was it Kingston? Eston, raised that question. We have checked in our system, and you only have to file the return for May, and the deregistration will be done. Okay? Yeah. Let me give you this information as taxpayers from Central Region. I have worked here in Central Region from 2019. That's close to, is it 6 years? Continuously. And my commissioner is here. He can confirm it. Central Region is one of the regions that have met and surpassed their revenue target, not once, in the period that we've been here, a number of times. The commissioner can confirm. He is here. Which tells you that indeed the central people are willing taxpayers, they only need to be facilitated. And he has come here, he has spoken to you, and I'm sure whatever points are raised, action points, they will be implemented. I also want to take this opportunity to thank the CGTN TV. They have been our partners, especially whenever we want to communicate information to our clients in Central. They have done a lot of work, and today we indeed are humbled to have given more airtime to reach out to our taxpayers. And we don't take it for granted, and we are going to partner with you, and we'll ensure whatever else that has not been done here, it can be done in the opportunities that will come. Yeah, thank you very much. And we also want to appreciate that we can have similar TV stations in other regions emulating what you've done, because then we become more friendlier, more accessible, and we do it like partners and not enforcers. At this point, Commissioner, I would want probably as you stand to give your closing remarks. Indeed, I appreciate all of you for having turned up, and on behalf of my team, which I'm just introducing so that we can have the commissioner, allow me to introduce them because you will need to contact them. Seated on the left, right there, standing, is Mesha Koskei. He is the TSO manager for Nyeri, and he is available for you and to give you service. Thank you. He'll share his number later. Next to him is our tax service manager for Kiambu, Mr. Ephantus Mwangi. Is also here. Anyone from that end, you can reach out to him. Seated next to him is the TSO manager for Thika. Thika is our large taxpayers office for Central Region. He is called John Chaka. You know, we have Chaka town up here. So hiyo jina ni rahisi kukumbuka, si ndio? Okay. Next we have Mohammed. He is our taxpayer base expansion manager for Nyeri, and he works closely with Madam Esther. And so any issues relating to Nyeri taxpayer expansion, he can be reached. Thank you. Can be seated. At the back, we have Rachel Ndungu. Rachel Ndungu is the compliance manager for Nyeri TSO. So she works hand in hand with Meshach, and she can also share her contacts later. We have our investigations and enforcement manager for the region, Madam Lydia Kimani. Yeah, she's the one dealing with those investigative activities. Yeah. And then we have our Muranga TSO manager, Mr. Minor, John Minor. He'll also share his contact after this. And seated at the back, Madam Mary Gashiku. She is in our internal language, she is the I and So manager for Central and Northern Region. She deals business intelligence. Okay, that makes it easier. So she wears several hats when it comes to the question that was asked by one of us, that when another fellow taxpayer refuses to cooperate, where should you take the information? She will take it and she will know what to do with that information. Please surrender it to her. She knows what to do with it. Okay? Up front here, we have Mary Gidinji. She is the taxpayer expansion manager for Thika, TSO. She works hand in hand with Madam Esther. Yeah, she can also share her number. And then in the region, we also have a chief manager in charge of taxpayer expansion activities for Central and Northern, Madam Grace Mwinde. Jambo. And in our midst, we have a few more other officers. I'll not introduce them. The KRA team. I know you do a great job. You are seated across the places. I would want Mr. Wandeto to stand. I don't know why he's right at the back. Mr. Wandeto is in charge of Nanyuki TSO, and we will be there tomorrow with the chairman. I think he must have been coordinating some things on the ground. That's why he's seated at the back there, together with Mr. Odinga, who is the taxpayer experience manager, and the regional operations officer. We have there Ann Kaloki. So thank you. This is our team on the ground. You are free to interact with them, even as we'll be breaking for lunch. Thank you again very much. Welcome, Commissioner.
Very well, thank you, the Nyeri people. Can I say good afternoon again? You have been very good audience, very good. We have had a very good engagement with yourselves. Just two questions and then I can want to thank you. There's that question that you asked about Gen Zs. That is a very important question to ask about Gen Zs, because they're the taxpayers of the future. I can for sure even tell you, when we go and check on our register of taxpayers, the 22 million I told you about, the majority are in the ages 21 to 30. That is the majority. So we have got to address them. We've got to address the issues that we are talking about. And you say something there very important. It made me thinking. You say the people who have come forward, ni wale tunakimbiza, na wale hawajakuja wako mbali. Hiyo sio mzuri, sivyo? We have got to make sure that we reach out to them so that we can be able to treat the people who have come in well and make sure that those ones who are outside, we reach out to them and we make sure they come on board. You'll be seeing a lot of activities in that area. We seek your support. Wakati unaitisha, ukiona mtu hataki kukupa e-teams invoice, huyo ni mtu hataki kulipa ushuru. Do you know that? Huyo ni mtu hataki kulipa ushuru. We will reach out to them. We will continue. We've learned so much from yourself on the things we need to do. We are going to reach out to as many people as possible. We believe that the rates of taxes in this country will go low and can go low. As more and more people come in and contribute, the burden is spread on all our shoulders, and then it becomes lighter. So we'll definitely focus on that. You talked something about accountants that is critical, that we need to address for a long time. Even the agents who are accountants, who we had paused that process of registration so that they can be able to be identified. We are getting back to that. We are also getting back to the engagement with ISPAC so that we can be able to deal with the issues of professional negligence and other things that sometimes happen. You picked it correctly. There are issues that need to be addressed. Not for everyone. It's only a few who do those kind of things. And we need to address those issues. And from our side, we have got to be careful so that we're not seen that we are spending time with accountants to make mess of businesses. That is not supposed to be the case. Other than that, I want to appreciate each and every one of you here. I want to appreciate your contribution. To a very vibrant contribution. I'm so proud in Nyeri today because your contributions were very, very up to date. You really, really, really engaged us in a very nice way. You gave us ideas that we need to go and do. You've told us, and you've also told us what we need to do so that we can get better. We are also hopeful that you've understood from where we are coming from and from where we can go together. And indeed, there's an opportunity for us to offer better services. We are seeking to close that gap as fast as possible. We are also seeking to work jointly with you, as I said before, to reach out to those ones who are not paying taxes so that they can be able to pay tax in this country. So we are happy. We're happy. And I want to just ask you to just clap for yourself for having been in this place. Really appreciate all of you. Thank you very much, the Nyeri people. I think now we can be able to get into closing so that we can also be able to release you to get into things. And thank you for creating time to engage with us today. You'll see a lot of this. They could go into now some areas, as you have already heard from Chief Manager. Tomorrow we'll also be spending time in Nanyuki. And also, we'll also in future be spending time in Thika and in Kiambu and other places that we need to reach. And ultimately, we'll get into every corner that we need to get into this country with the same message. But every time, because of what we engage with yourself, we refine the message, we do the needful, we address the issues. Things are moving better. Moving better. I will tell you, and she mentioned, that is Esther mentioned, there are sometimes we'll have these meetings and everything we'll be talking about only special table. Stuli resolve yote alienda, special table. Sometimes we went into the meetings, it was always about problems of availability of systems. We resolved it. So we continue resolving the issues here. And we'll continue in that manner. So thank you very much, the Nyeri people. Really appreciate it for your indulgence and for your time here today. We'll continue engaging. The engagements continues. I think there's somewhere that we're putting some QR code. It will come at some point. But today, what we've done, now we have put in the sessions that are available for there's a day 2 tomorrow at 11 to 1. This is for income validation. The links are down there. You can be able to see the links are down there. You can be able to see that. You can be able to copy. You can agree with you how we can be able to send that to you. Majority of you, you've got your emails. So we could as well, again, share with you that information. If you are interested, get into that. That would be good. And then thereafter, there are QR codes that are there across because all questions we may not have gone through all the questions. If you then take a picture of that QR code and then send a question there, we will respond back to you. This way help us to be able to deal with all manner of issues that we may not have had enough time to be able to deal with today. Special thanks to the GT TV. Really, really, you guys have done a good job. And thank you very much for the offer you've given us. I can for sure tell you, we are going to seize it. And we can see the partnership in you and your team. You guys have done us proud, and today you are here with us for the entire session. Really appreciate the special thanks for your team. Asanteni sana, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner, for that. We have come to the end of the dialogue session. What is there is just to give announcements. And before that, we want to ask Chief Manager Sheila to give a vote of thanks on behalf of all of us, and then we will pray, then have our lunch. We have lunch for all of us, so do not leave. We have to share this pinch of the tax together. Karibuni sana. You are welcome for our lunch, so do not be in a hurry. Karibu, madam.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sheila Mogusia, and I'll speak on behalf of my boss, Grace Wandera, who was with us earlier this morning but had to leave to prepare for the next engagement. Mine is to extend my appreciation to the people of Nyeri who heeded to this call. As my boss usually says, if we can come to engage, but if there is nobody, then there's nothing that we have achieved. So I thank you all for taking time off your busy schedules just to come and share with us some of the challenges you're experiencing and feedback that we can take back to tinker on and resolve and make your experiences with us a lot better. And of course, increase your share of taxes, and I'm sure DC Esther will be very happy with that outcome. This commitment from KRA leadership and led by our Commissioner, Mr. Jojo Bell, we really do appreciate you for leading the team and just stepping forward to take the bullets that probably we sometimes shy away from, but also giving direction in terms of what we should take up and move on with. To the Nyeri team, truly appreciate you for filling the room, bringing in your stakeholders, for the conversations that we've had, for the support that you ordinarily give them, led by Mr. Omao, in charge of the region. Asanteni sana. And to the team that put this together, people who have ensured there's media presence, that you have the lunch you're going to eat, and those are my colleagues who've traveled from Nairobi alongside the regional teams. We also do appreciate you. So asanteni sana, and we look forward to extending this. As Commissioner has said, we are moving now to sub-county level, and that is where we intend to extend our conversations in the next financial year. So thank you very much, and welcome you to lunch just after the prayer. Asanteni.
Thank you very much, because thanks have been given. Allow me to say this. I will allow the team here to leave after the prayer, and then I can give announcements of how we are going to take our lunch. Is that okay? Sawa sawa. Let me pray. Allow me to pray. We can stand. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we are grateful. Thank you for this time that you have allowed us to have this conversation on how we can take this country forward as far as tax collection and everything to do with tax is concerned, dear Lord. We thank you for the dear stakeholders that have taken their time to come and engage with us today. We give you thanks for the great insights that we have gotten from this meeting. As we go forward, dear Lord, we pray that you will give us the grace to continue getting better at our service delivery as KRA, in the name of Jesus. As we engage with our citizens, we pray for more wisdom and grace and even your might to be able to do the things that are expected of us. Dear Lord, where we have failed to do what is pleasing to you, we ask for your forgiveness, and we ask that you will give us the strength to correct the errors that we might have committed knowingly and unknowingly. And we pray that, Lord, as we part company today, we shall go deliberating on how we can even better our country, even as a people. We thank you even for our dear ones as they travel back to their destinations. We pray for your protection, pray for the cover of the blood of Jesus. And we thank you even, Lord, for the provision of a meal that we are going to share together. We pray that you will bless all of us. And God, continue to strengthen us in the name of Jesus. We commit all this to you, Lord, that let your will be done. For we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. God bless you all. Thank you so much, Commissioner and team. You can leave at your pleasure, and I'll give an announcement.
typical filing season, the most dramatic time of the year.
Piga yobo! Got to file and pay. Me, you was any stress. Set a deadline like June 30th.
Sio wasi extend. Sindio?
Kwani kuna kulipa?
Kufaili ni kitu moja, kulipa ni ingine, na lazima upande zote.
Simi nadhani hiyo ni ya watu wenye wanafanya kwa maofisi. Ai wewe acha kunienjoy wewe. Mimi niko jua kali.
Usipolipa unachapa mapenzi kila mwezi.